Every year when we watch the Masters, Cole, one of the most fun early storylines to keep an eye on are the amateurs. The guys that make it into the field, the amateurs that get their spot. I'm looking at the PGA pros, the guys that you go over to your local course and you take lessons from. 20 of them have made the field. The problem is most of them are at the tail end of it.
Yeah.
They're not playing well so far. A couple of them are doing okay.
Would I recognize any of their names?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely. I mean, they are teaching pros, right? They are teachers who work at local golf courses. We're not talking about the best of the best. Yeah. You wouldn't know them. Michael Block, -1 on the day. Jesse Dromer, even on the day. Michael Block's made it into this thing 8 times. Jesse made it in 3 times. So we'll keep an eye on that. But a little fun, extra little side note.
It's a good, example, though, when you see those guys that teach golf for a living, and then you see the gap diesel between them and the ones right now at the top of the leaderboard. Yeah. I mean, it just goes to show it is a small percentage. And looking at the leaderboard right now, we have it on here in our studios. I recognize Min Woo Lee. I recognize Xander Schauffele in the top 5. That's it. The other 3, I don't know their names.
Well, Aldrich Potgeier is in the lead. He's from South Africa.
What
he
a name.
Is -3. T1, Aldrich Potgeier, Steven Yeager, Min Woo Lee, and Ryo Hasatsune, I think is how you say his name, all at 3 under on the day. Yeager came out shooting bombs. They were saying Yeager bombs as he was making his tee shots. He was incredible on the front 9. He went 5 birdies, 1 bogey, and then bogeyed the 12th, otherwise parred the entire back 9. A really good day. I know he would love to have been able to throw a couple of more green squares on the back 9, but hey, you got off to a good start, and that's what matters.
Where's Rory, though?
Where's Rory at the moment? He is at +4, T for 126. 126.
That's not
it's not good. No, he's not playing well.
Oof.
He's back there tied with Clemson's Jacob Bridgman. How about that?
Wow.
How about that? We got a local kid tied with Rory McIlroy. If you spin it just the right way, like a top, right? You could say, hey, local kid tied with Rory McIlroy at the PGA.
T126. Yeah. My gosh, not a good day for him.
No, Rory bogeyed 5 holes in a row, and he bogeyed 6 out of 7. From 4 to 10, he bogeyed 6 out of 7 holes. No, it's not. It's not good. But at least he's not throwing double bogeys out there.
Well,
he is wont to do that. It's the toe. He's dealing with a toe injury.
No, what it is he hadn't lived at this course for the past 3 weeks like he did at Augusta.
Didn't let him pitch a tent right there on the 12th fairway.
Everybody's impressed that he won at Augusta. Well, my gosh, if he lived there for 3 weeks prior, he should win. So this one's in Pennsylvania, right? He didn't live in Pennsylvania. And come on. We talked about it, and it matters.
The golfers were complaining about early in the morning. It was much colder than what they've been dealing with. They said they had gotten some rain. It made things a little bit wetter than usual, so the ball was flying, yada, yada, yada. They're all playing under the same conditions, except for the guys who are out there playing right now, because it looks absolutely gorgeous.
It looks like the course looks different. Like it doesn't, I don't know, just off of the 10 minutes I've been watching today, I hadn't watched any of it yet. It doesn't look like a typical PGA championship course.
It looks like a really nice golf course, but like a really nice local golf course.
I know, that's what I thought.
You're right. It does not look like a PGA major hosting kind of golf course. And it's not. Here's the thing. They've been ducking for cover all day because there's a couple of holes on this golf course, Cole, where the green is right next to the adjacent tee box.
Ooh.
So think about that. You're trying to tee off. You already have the pressure of, hundreds of fans lining the tee box. And all of a sudden, you got Bryson DeChambeau and Rory McIlroy just doing the old spray and pray and putting it anywhere they can find it near the green. And you could be taking a golf ball off the dome.
What about Bryson, huh?
Not a great day.
Where's Bryson, boy?
Bryson DeChambeau is at +6, T144.
Oh,
back there with Lucas Glover. Back there with a bunch of the PGA pros. That's really who's populating that part of the leaderboard.
This same thing happened last year, Diesel. The same thing happened. What I mean is we came off of Augusta, and last year you had Rory win, and it was this first one in Augusta, and it was just like the pinnacle. And then you come back at the PGA Championship in Charlotte, at Quail Hollow, and that first Friday or that Thursday, the leaderboard, nobody knew any of the names on the leaderboard. So it's almost like this, this just a little bit of a letdown. And I don't know that golf can do anything about it because it's golf. The game of golf is really hard, but you have this pinnacle, you have this climax with the Masters, and then after that, it kind of just dwindles down a little bit.
Does it feel kind of like the same thing that plagues NASCAR? Is they start with the Daytona 500.
Yeah.
And they call it the Super Bowl of the sport, and it's the first race of the season, and everybody's excited because we've had weeks and weeks and weeks leading up to the Daytona 500. Tons of coverage leading up to the Daytona 500, and then after that, you just got a whole long regular season to run.
I think what NASCAR has going for it is that there are so many other races after Daytona that there are other reasons to be intrigued with golf. What I find tough is there's only 3 more. Like now, after this weekend, there's only 2 more majors. And I don't watch a lot of golf that's outside of majors. So it's tough. I wish, I guess the world I want to live in doesn't exist. I want every major to live up to the hype that the Masters does. And I guess that's never going to happen.
Augusta National is so iconic for what it is. But let's be real, most golf courses look the same. Like imagine a NASCAR season where every race was that 1.5-mile oval, kind of like Charlotte, kind of like Texas, where everything is kind of the same. Now, obviously, there are the golf courses that are out on the beach. There are the golf courses that some of them are out in the desert, but those are kind of few and far between. They're kind of rare, at least for being played, big time tournaments on or majors on. And, maybe there's a little element of every time you turn on golf, it feels like you're watching the same thing.
And for me, I'm not saying that's not true. I think there's a lot of truth there. For me, Diesel, and this is not good, and maybe this is a me problem. When I turn on golf, I want to see the big names near the top of the leaderboard, And
you can. They have all the alternate streams where you can watch the Rory stream, the Bryson stream,
like in the hunt.
Train wreck.
You know what I mean? I want to see all the best. And again, this may be a me problem. I want to see the best golfers, the Rorys and the Scotties and the Bryson. I want to see them in these majors near the top of the leaderboard, right? So that we're seeing them go into Sunday competing. And again, I'm not a golf expert. I don't live and breathe golf. But the problem I have with it is when I turn it on a Thursday for PGA and I look at the leaderboard right now, I know Akshay Bhatia because he's a young guy. But other than that, I don't really know a lot of these guys. I follow the top golfers and look, when it's good, I love watching it. I loved watching Augusta and I loved watching the Masters. But for whatever reason, it feels like I kind of need the big names to be near the top.
I get it. I mean, inside the top 10 right now, you only have 3 recognizable names: Akshay Bhatia, Xander Schauffele, and Shahid Thagala. Outside of them, you got to go down the list before you can find Brooks Koepka. He's T12. How about Brooks? Kind of squeaking into this field. He's played really well at 1 under. John Rahm is at T12 as well at 1 under. And, you gotta go, keep going a long way down before you find names that are recognizable. Justin Thomas is there at T12. Let's see who else is inside that top 20. Patrick Cantlay at T39, Ricky Fowler, T39. Unfortunately, Cole, I don't think it's going to be the day for who's that one golfer that's it's not Justin Thomas, or is it Justin Thomas? It still needs this tournament to win.
Is it Spieth?
Is it Spieth or Thomas?
I thought it was Spieth. I could be wrong. For whatever reason, I was thinking it was Jordan Spieth. But you're asking the wrong.
You're right. Jordan has 3.
Yeah.
Spieth, he is T12 at 1 under par. So he's within 2 shots of the leader.
Right?
This is the one he needs.
I thought we said it was Spieth.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. I mean, that would be a storyline that I think would help as the weekend goes along. Like if you're telling me this is the only one he needs to complete the career Grand Slam, and he's T12 right now. How many shots back is T12? Probably 2. Not. Yeah, I was going to say. So it's a log jam. I mean, he could go from T12 to T2 in a matter of holes. So yeah, look, if that's what you're telling me, I am going to be invested into that. I love Augusta. I love the Masters, but like this weekend, PGA Championship weekend, if there aren't a lot of big names near the top, I'm probably tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday not going to spend a ton of time watching. Scotty won it last year, or was it year before last?
Scotty won last year.
He won last year. So obviously we had reason to be intrigued. He won it up in Charlotte, but that would be fun to see Jordan Spieth. I think when you talk about golf and how challenging it is to see somebody compete for a Grand Slam, as little as that happens, I think that is a very intriguing theme that a lot of people that don't normally watch golf could get behind.
Cole, I want you to answer this question. Tolos, I need you to answer this question as well. 844-326-3663. You can call in, you can text in, and you can message in on the stream on Facebook, Twitter, and on YouTube. What is the most important thing that you've ever been late to? The most important, biggest event, some happening you were late to, and it bit you in the rear end. Because the 85th ranked world golfer, Garrick Higo, was penalized 2 strokes on the first hole this morning because he was 1 second late to his 7:18 tee time.
How are you 1 second late?
Well, it's if you're supposed to be there at 7:18 and you're not inside the designated area until 7:18:01, you're late.
You're telling me they measure by the second?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
This is what it sounded like. This is the audio from 7:18 a.m. this morning from the main broadcast.
We'll let you listen in.
You know you're late to the tee. That's what I shoot shots.
Good luck to you. You got to be on the tee at your appointed time, and he was a minute late.
Oh, it was a minute?
It's a 2-shot penalty.
He was a minute late?
So in the post-round conversation that he had with, I think it was SVP, he said, I was a second late. Now, the broadcast there seems to have said something different. Regardless, PGA rules are very, very clear. You have to be inside of some designated area at the time of your tee time. And if you are not inside of that designated area, you are late for your tee time.
So I don't have a problem with him being punished if he's a minute late. I don't have a problem with that. If he's a second late, that is the dumbest rule in all of sports.
Hey, rules are rules, man.
Yeah, but like,
I learned a long time ago that early is on time is late is unacceptable.
No, I get that. And I try to be early, but like what are you supposed to do? Have the clock where it shows every second on your phone?
Yeah. So here's the thing. He was actually like 100 yards away or 50 yards away, whatever it was, on the practice green putting. And then he gets the, oh, crap, notification. I got to be on the tee box. And he is still walking up the cart path and is not inside. This is what the PGA of America's local rules and terms of competition say, that you have to be inside of the rope, the gallery stakes, green bike fencing, and or blue stakes, blue dots, or blue lines.
Wow.
And he was not there. He was not there when it was time for him to be there.
Should have been there.
And here's the thing. He finished -1. Without those 2-stroke penalty, he'd be tied for the lead right now.
That's not good. So how far back is he now on the leaderboard?
He is
somewhere between 1 and 10, right?
Team, let's see, -1. He would be T12.
Okay.
So I mean, he's there. He's there. He's 2 strokes back.
He's right there with us.
It sucks that he had to take a double bogey on the first hole.
Yeah, he should have been there. Regardless, I mean, you got to make sure
it's major, right? I mean, we've all seen the movie 10 Cup where he got jumped the night before and he wasn't awake from his hotel room or what, I think he was in a trailer or a camper in that movie, but he wasn't there. He was late to his tee time, and the PGA don't play.
No, if it was a minute late, I have no problem with that. He should have been there. If it was a second late, I have a problem. Minute late, it's his fault. I will say this though. Where's his caddy in all of this? His caddy's
good question.
I mean, shouldn't his caddy kind of be also making sure that he's responsible for making sure he's there on time? I mean, I know it's not the caddy's job to hold your watch and hold your phone to see, I know they probably don't have their phones.
But it's a major. It's a major. It is your job to be where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. I don't have a problem with the penalty.
I don't either, as long as it was a minute late. If it's a second late, I have a huge issue with it. That's the dumbest thing in the world. Now, how do we tell time? How do golfers tell time? Are they allowed to wear watches?
I would assume, because you go to a lot of big tournaments, there's the usually sponsored by Rolex or something like that. Clocks all over the place. I'm sure they're synced to give everybody, this is the official time. synced to this big.
I'm looking to
clock.
see if any of them have watches on.
They all do, but think about that. That watch is not an official time.
Yeah.
The official time is the time that the official has.
And see, I don't know if I would want to. That guy. Oh, Scotty doesn't have a watch on. I said that guy. Didn't even realize it was Scotty. Scotty doesn't have a watch on. So I don't know.
This is Joker in gray.
Your caddy's got to be some responsibility there too. Texter, this is Corn Chip. He says, when I lived in Tampa, I was supposed to fly home for Memorial Day weekend. I wasn't late, but when I went from my bed to my flight in under an hour and lived 30 minutes from the airport, I used to do that all the time.
I've done that.
When I lived in Texas, Diesel, I would be like, I was really close to the airport, and I would wait, until the last minute to get there sometimes. That's kind of fun, though. It's kind of an adrenaline rush.
It's harder now, though, because, God, the airport lines are crazy long.
Yeah. It's not, for me, it's always an adrenaline rush.
Imagine rushing to a Spirit flight and you found out that your entire airline was shut down.
We got lucky, though, last week. I had no issues with any kind of long lines, airport issues. I mean, I didn't. We went to Charlotte. We flew from Charlotte to Miami to Nicaragua, and there and back experienced hardly any lines. It was crazy.
Wow.
I mean, that's
wild because when I came back through Miami, it was awful.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I got lucky.
I'm talking like almost an hour line to go through that winding customs. You get off the airplane, you got to go through those ropes back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And then you finally get up to the person with a bad attitude and you finally get through.
Yeah. When you come through customs, it's all about if you hit it at the right time. Like when we came back on Saturday, there was hardly anybody in the customs line, but what we did is we downloaded they have an app, Mobile Passport Control, so you can download it and you can bypass the customs line, and it is it's great.
So I didn't know that.
Yeah,
it's
great.
That.
But I got lucky. Sometimes it is. Texter says no one has seen that movie. What movie did you?
Tin Cup.
Tin Cup.
What do you mean no one has seen Tin Cup? That's an all-time great golf movie. What are you talking about? Cheech Marin, Rene Russo.
Let me Google it. Let me Google it. Let's see. Let me see if I can recognize Tin Cup. 1996.
Roy McAvoy.
It's as old as me. Can you believe that?
Yeah, that's an all-time great. Kevin Costner was in Tin Cup. What are you talking? Don Johnson was in Tin Cup. That's an all-time goated golf.
Really?
Movie.
Is it good? Should I watch it?
Absolutely. You love it. It's about a driving range pro who's kind of a screw up. Who makes his way into, I think it's the U.S. Open. I can't remember which tournament, but he makes it all the way up to the U.S. Open. And he's got to battle his old golf buddy, who's now his nemesis, played by Don Johnson from Miami Vice. Never seen Tin Cup. Get out of here.
No, I hadn't either. Sorry.
Get out of here.
I'm the one that you expect to say that because I
would expect you to say that. Right. We hit it on that. Rory's dealing with a major toe injury where he put a little padding and an extra size bigger shoe, and he's fine. But obviously something's bugging him because he's playing like crap today. My favorite thing about the opening round I've seen so far today, though, Cole, is that the broadcasters early this morning were not holding back on Bryson DeChambeau. They were talking so much trash. I mean, Bryson opened himself up to it, right? The PGA Tour needs me more than I need the PGA Tour. His mad scientist BS and his TikTok videos.
I love that.
They were talking trash about him this morning, saying that he was out there playing with his, quote, homemade golf clubs.
I'm kind of surprised by it.
I mean, 3D printed golf clubs. Golf is all about decorum and respect. That's
why I'm surprised.
That was the most polite way you could rip somebody. Homemade golf clubs.
But I would not expect, like a Jim Nance or anybody to that, pedigree to not talk down, but talk a little trash. I wouldn't have expected that. I love it because I don't like Bryson, but I would not have expected that.
There was a tee box where he put one way, way off to the right, and they were like, wow, I think he might be in the concession stand.
Not good. Not good. Dewey checks in on the YouTube stream. Good to see Dewey's alive.
Look who it is.
We were worried yesterday, Dewey, that you might have passed. We didn't know. We hadn't heard from you in quite some time, but good to hear from you. Maybe he ran out of minutes, Dewey. Do you still have a phone? 844-326-3663. He says Cubs suck. Hey, how about the Braves last night? Also, after we talk about the Braves for just a quick second, we will go to the ACC, something we mentioned yesterday on the show, Diesel, but want to take a deeper dive. Why is the ACC ready for 24 forward, do you share the same sentiment that you're also ready for a 24-team playoff? We'll dive into it next, right here on the Fan Upstate.
This is Wire to Wire with Cole, Bryson, and Diesel on the Fan Upstate.
Tolos, if you have a team that is in the ACC, I want to know from you, if you pull for a team in that conference, Diesel, are you in the same boat that James Phillips? Who's James? Is that his brother, Jim's brother, James? Are you in the same boat that ACC Commissioner Jim Phillips is in? We talked about this a little bit yesterday, but Diesel, ACC Commissioner Jim Phillips backed a 24-team expanded college football playoff format Wednesday, a move supported by the majority of the league's coaches and ADs. Now, why? Why did Jim Phillips support and back the 24 team? We hinted at this, but do you want to take a guess? A wild guess here? Do you have a wild guess?
The same reason I saw a South Carolina Gamecock fan on Twitter the other day support 6 automatic bids for the SEC because it's the only way you're going to get in.
Yeah, that's probably a good guess. So the Big Ten initially proposed the 2014 model. We talked about that, right? It started to gain traction as the discussions about expanding the playoff have moved forward, Diesel, though there was no consensus on an expanded playoff field when the college football spring meetings happened, last month? Jim Phillips, the ACC commissioner, believes that greater access to the playoff is vital for the long term.
Oh, vital.
Gotta
have it. The sport's going to die if we don't expand.
So here was his quote.
Scary.
And this is fun. This is a fun conversation because it goes back to something that we've talked about many times on this show before. Jim said, when you're leaving national championship contending teams out of the playoff, you don't have the right number. We've suffered through it with Florida State when the field was 4, and I know other schools have suffered for it. And I've said this very directly, Notre Dame was a college football playoff-worthy team this year. So, number one, Jim Phillips now advocating for Notre Dame, even though they're not like full, they're just kind of like the step. Can we call them a stepchild?
What? Cuck.
Oh,
cuckold.
Gotcha.
Cuckold.
I heard the C and then the CK at the end. I didn't know. Okay, gotcha.
C-U-C-K.
So he's now a Notre Dame advocate, which just kind of makes sense. Like you have to advocate for your stepkids, right? Notre Dame is a stepkid.
Don't do anything for Notre Dame that Notre Dame wouldn't do for you.
Oh, no. He's not going to live by that. Number 2, what I think is funny about this, Jim Phillips is lying basically to everybody when he says, when you're leaving national championship contending teams out of the playoff, you don't have the right number. Why do people, even commissioners of conferences, believe, why do they believe a team that might be 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, God forbid, 20th through 24th, ranked that high? That's a national. What am I missing?
Because he's listening to too many Dabo Sweeney press conferences saying, we're just only a play or 2 away. Because you could be a play or 2 away, lose 2 or 3 ball games, but you could still be good enough to go contend for a national championship. Here's the problem with that logic, circling it around championship contending caliber teams. Every year is different. This year there might only be 3 teams that could really contend.
Every year is different.
But you're not gonna shrink the field down to 4 because there's only 3 teams that could really go and win it. Some years there's like 6 or 7 teams that could win it all. But you're not going to shrink it down to 8 or balloon it up to 15 or 16 only because you look at the field and say these are the competitive enough teams to go and win this thing.
And I think for the most part, Diesel, most years I'm in the boat, I'm in the camp that believes there is only a handful of teams that can win it.
True.
Like, I'm going to say on average, I think my philosophy is probably 4 to 6, maybe 7, maybe. But I think on any given year, and you're right, it depends what year it is, the talent, senior class, quarterback, a lot goes into it. But I would say on a normal year, you've got 4 to 6 teams that can win it all. But for whatever reason, now I know the reason, the real reason. Jim Phillips didn't say, hey, when you're leaving out more money on the table, you don't have the right number.
Right.
That's what that's all it means.
You're going to distribute more cash.
You're gonna the college football playoff, and we've got to understand this. We've talked about this a gazillion times on this show, but it is, again, you and I as a fan, the Tolos out there listening, we care about college football from a fan perspective. College football is not benefiting you and I directly financially. Now, in a little bit, because we obviously cover college football on this show, and you and I get paid to do a sports radio show. So we cover it, we talk about it, but we're not the same. We're not in the same positions a lot of these guys are. I just wish he was a little bit more transparent. Jim Phillips, we've talked about how he kind of sometimes has that ick about him, right? You and I have talked to him before as well up at ACC Kickoff.
Because he's a nerd.
He just, come on, you're going to get up there and you're going to tell people that we're leaving national championship caliber teams out. I've said it a million times. Expanding the playoff does not give more teams a chance to win the national championship. That is my philosophy that I'm going to ride by and stick by and stand on until I'm proven wrong.
Yeah,
expanding it just it's all about money. It's not about more teams having a chance to win the national championship.
And the word they always use is access. We got to have more access. We got to have every conference has to get a team in, even if it's Pop Warner football. The best team that plays flag football is going to get into this tournament. They need to have access. Really, access means access to more money.
Yeah,
for these conferences. That's all it means.
Well, that's look. I do understand it from a commissioner standpoint. That's their job. So, like, I get advocating for the conference, but let's not act like the fans who are listening to Jim Phillips and Greg Sankey and all these other commissioners out there aren't just as smart from a football standpoint as they are. People have to realize, I don't care how smart or how rich Jim Phillips is. I don't care how smart or rich Greg Sankey is. There's a lot of coaches and fans out there, Diesel, that know more football than Greg Sankey and Jim Phillips. Why do I bring that up? My point being, a lot of people watch and are involved in this sport because of reasons outside of money. Now, coaches and players are making money. We know that. Coaches, though, a lot of these coaches get into the game for different reasons because they once grew up wanting to be a college football coach, right? They had a good coach and they wanted to be. So I hate seeing commissioners and people who have large says, I guess, a large platform, get up here and just lie and say, well, it's all about leaving. We're leaving national championship. There will never be a 24th ranked team win a national championship ever. Diesel, it won't happen.
Mark it down.
It won't happen.
At 3:32 on May 14th, 2026. We're going to come back to this discussion, Cole, in 25 years. How about that? 25 years from now, we're going to come back and say, hey, what's the highest ranked or highest seeded team to go win a national title? And you're probably right. I guarantee you it's not going to be any higher than 10.
I'll be 55.
Wow.
How old will you be?
25 years from now, I'll be 60, 62.
You'll be right there at retirement.
67.
You'll be retired.
67.
Oh, you'll be retired by then.
I hope.
You'll be retired.
It means I can afford to retire. In this economy?
You'll be retired. You'll be living on the beach. No, it won't happen. It won't happen. And look, the scary part about that is 25 years from now, who freaking knows what college football playoff will look like? But
nobody wants to do anything for the health of the sport. They only want to do what's healthy for their bottom line and for their revenue distributions. The healthy thing for the sport, Cole, is to say, we're going to shrink this thing to 8. All 4 of the Power 4 conferences automatically get their regular season conference champion, and then we do 4 at-larges from there. That's it. That's the answer. And nobody needs auto bids. Nobody needs guarantees. Nobody needs any of this crap. The only guarantee is win your regular season conference championship. And then if they want to start setting in standards for how much money your budget has to be, like a minimum budget standard, then guess what? There's going to be a lot of schools that can't afford to compete at that level, and they can drop back down to a G6 conference.
So, Lowe's, before we get to the rest of this Jim Phillips quote, how do you feel about a 24-team playoff if you have if you're a fan of a team in the ACC? Do you truly feel like it gives you a better chance to win a championship? I guess if you're just going off of math only, Diesel, of course, mathematically you have a better chance, just like a team in the NFL that's in the playoff has a better chance than a team that's not in the playoff.
Can't win it if you're not in it.
Right. So I understand the math side of it, but I'm not talking about math here. I'm talking about reality. Like I said, if we expand to 24, I'll even go a step further. I said a 24th ranked team will never win it. I would be shocked if a team higher than 12 ever won it.
Texter gets in and says, and by the way, Texter, make sure you put your name on your text so we know who you are. They said they used to say a number 4 team would never be able to win a national championship. And then Ohio State did it in the first year of a 4-team playoff. He says, and number 10, Miami, almost did it last year when they said no, 9, 10, 11, and 12 would win. Well, guess what, Texter? Do you know what almost means? It means you didn't win.
No.
It means the number 10 has never won. So I get your point, and you are right that a number 10 Miami team made it all the way to the national championship. You are absolutely right about that. But what are we really talking about almosts here?
I'm not saying teams can't get hot. I've seen enough sports. Diesel, we've all seen enough sports to know that teams can get hot. High school, college, pro. You get hot at the right time, you can make a run. But there's just, to me, year in and year out in college football, I've always felt like there's a gap between 6th and 15th. And I think that gap, 9 out of 10 times, that team that's 6 is going to win that game. Look, upsets happen. I'm not naive. And we get it. Upsets happen every freaking week in college football. I'm not saying they don't. But I just don't know that we believe, if we all believe that, okay, expanding, it's going to allow more teams to win it, I just don't know how many years would have to play it out in the row. Like you said, 25 years from now, I would be very comfortable saying a 24th ranked team would never win it. I would be surprised if a 12 and up team won it. Again, I know Miami had a good year last year, and they had a very senior-heavy team. It's just letting more teams in doesn't always mean that those teams 12 to 24 are worthy of actually being in. That's my whole thing. Like, do you deserve to be there?
The one argument I can make for expansion, and this is maybe the only, besides money, right? The only legitimate argument for more teams capable of winning a national championship is the fact that we have the rampant transfer portal use that we have. And you sort of get this funneling of talent to the tippy top programs, right? So the best talent that rises up from the FCS level to the G5, and the G5 to the Power 4, and the low end Power 4 to the high end Power 4, that continues to funnel up and up and up. And you could argue that as talent finds its way up to those schools, more schools do have a chance to compete at a high level.
I get that.
But you could also argue at the same time that the programs that are there every single year, the Georgias, the Ohio States of the world, those types of programs, they have continued to get better as well. They've used it to their advantage as well.
Well, the rich are going to get richer, and in this sense, right, with like the Texases of the world and the A&Ms and the Texas Tech was near the top of the country last year, Diesel, and NIL spend when it comes to college football. So, yeah, I see both sides. I think you're right. And look, the reality is there are enough good football players across the country that you're going to still see a competitive playoff. Now, you saw Ole Miss just demolish Tulane last year. That was a 6 versus an 11. That 11, though, is different than a normal 11, in my opinion. 41-10 was the final. You saw a 10 Miami beat a 7 A&M 10-3, and maybe the most boring game in the history of college football, right? So not saying teams can't be competitive that are ranked near the 10th or 12th spot. I'm just saying I would be surprised if they go on to win it. James Madison was 12, Tulane was 11, and Miami was 10. I think we would all agree that Miami, even though they were 10, and let's go back to James Madison, they were 12. If you pick the 13th, 14th, and 15th best team, because James Madison and Tulane both got in, not to go down that rabbit hole again, but that 13, 14, 15 might give Miami a better game than JMU and Tulane did. My point being, Diesel, there's still a lot of good players in college football. So, yes, you're going to see upsets. Yes, you're going to see teams make runs that we didn't expect to. I don't subscribe to the theory that letting more teams in gives more teams a chance to win the national championship, maybe just because I haven't seen it enough on a consistent basis.
The texter says 10 total conferences. Take the top 2 teams from each, regardless of who they are, and then 4 at-large bids and just play the dang thing. Who cares if Georgia kills Georgia Southern in the first round? Clemson killed Bama in that one national title game. Texter, I'd be with you. I'm with you. I like the idea of access for my G5 conferences. I like that idea because it's the most democratic way of doing things. And last time I checked, this country is still a democracy. We want access for all in this thing. But then you always run into the argument of, well, Liberty shouldn't get in, or Western Michigan shouldn't get in. There's no reason Northern Iowa should get into this thing. They can't win a national championship game.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. There's only one winner ever. So if it's a 12-team playoff, are you willing to make the argument that there was only one national championship caliber team, because only one team can win the national championship? Is it a field of 11 other losers that shouldn't have been in this thing?
I guess my point is this. Here's my point. I don't like that the conversation has changed. What do I mean by that? When the BCS was here, you and I watched Bama obliterate Notre Dame 1 year in the BCS. We watched a billion, it feels like, BCS national title games. Some were good, some were bad.
Yeah.
But guess what? And correct me if I'm wrong here. I don't remember it, but when college football was happening with the BCS national championship game, and we got to that national championship game, I don't recall hearing fans and coaches and commissioners cry and cry and cry
Auburn fans
about not being able to be in the national championship game. You know what you did if you weren't in the BCS national championship game? You figured out a way to be better next year so that maybe next year you could be in the BCS national championship game. Now, that's my problem. The conversations turned from, hey, let's get better, to, oh, well, we just are screwed. We got left out. Our quarterback, Jordan Travis, got hurt. I am so sick of excuse culture. That's where we are. That's what it boils down to.
Unfortunately, you know what's going to happen. If this thing expands to 24, which I don't think it should expand past 16. I don't like the idea of first-round buys for anybody. I don't like the idea of special treatment for anybody, regardless of what you did over the course of the regular season, because most of these teams are playing Charleston Southern at some point in the season, right? It's no disrespect to Charleston Southern, but, miss me with the idea that you need a week off in the first round when in week 2 of the season you took a week off. You played the Sisters of the Poor. You played PC, you played West Georgia, community college. You already had your week off. You don't need another one at this point in the season. 16 teams is probably the way to go. Unfortunately, we're not going to do that. We're going to skip right on past 16 and go to 24. But I'm in favor of what you said, Cole. Going back to the BCS system. Reduce this thing back down to 4. Let the computers tell you who the best 4 teams are. It's cold, it's calculating, and it's fair to everyone. We're eliminating this whole idea of this conference is superior or that team is better because they've been here 3 years in a row. You're eliminating all of that crap.
Well, guess what?
We're not going to do it.
Not going to do it.
Never going to happen.
There's
too much money on the table.
Yeah. And that's what it's about. That's what it's about. It's not ever. And that's the thing, like when you continue to just expand, at what point, like, do you stop? Hey, we just expanded the college basketball championship. Think about that.
Big mistake as well.
We just expanded that one. You know how big that one already is? It's huge. But no, it wasn't big enough.
Well, here's the thing. Those teams aren't really in the tournament. They're in a play-in tournament. We haven't really expanded the NCAA tournament. We've expanded the play-in tournament.
Well, more teams have to have access.
And the problem is once we get used to 24, somebody's going to say, hey, I'm 25, 26, 27. I could go win a national championship too. And then 5 years from now, we're going to be talking about expanding this thing to 32. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Yeah. It's good stuff, though.
When we come back, Tolo's 3 words that exemplify why these Atlanta Braves have the best record in baseball. What are they? I'll tell you next.
Market Studio.
Well, that was weird.
That was weird.
Oh, the greenskeeper is going to be mad at Justin Thomas. We were just watching him on the TV, and Justin was in kind of a unique feature on this particular green. He was far up against the right-hand side, relative to from the front to the back. He was in the front right corner, and he needed to go over, like kind of an incursion, a dip into the green of the first cut of the rough. So he brings out a wedge on the green and is chipping off the green. You know that greenskeeper was standing there staring at him like, don't you dare put a divot into my green.
Probably did using a wedge, right? That don't happen. I mean, does that happen a lot?
No, not very often. But I play municipal courses. Yeah. They don't set their greens up that way, so I don't have to deal with that very often. But Justin Thomas, he's playing well so far. He is through 6 holes, Cole. He is 2 under. How about that? The guy that needs this one to get it done. Well, not to get it done, not to get the that's Jordan Spieth. Justin Thomas is 2 under through 6. We'll see what he can do, but he's playing well so far. Maybe he can make a run at the top of the leaderboard today. Yeah. The Atlanta Braves. We spent a lot of time talking about the Atlanta Braves. This is an article that you can read right now on ESPN.com. The 3 words that describe this Atlanta Braves team and tell you exactly why they are playing as well as they are across the lineup, no matter what situation you're put in. No egos here. No egos here.
Ooh.
Say the Atlanta Braves.
No egos.
No egos here.
Okay.
Yastrzemski was interviewed, and he said that's not how we operate. He says nobody feels like they own any piece of this team. We're all pulling on the same rope together in the same direction. Whatever opportunities came for you that day, that's good enough.
I like that. That's a great team mentality to have. And look, here's where I am as a Braves fan on this 14th day in May. I love it. I am all in, and I am hook, line, and sinker. However, you know what I know? I know that baseball is it's a tough sport. Mm-hmm. And I also know, Diesel, that they play a long season. I'm not saying the Braves are going to just fall off a cliff. I'm not wishing that on them because I know my thoughts and how I feel actually impacts how the team plays. But I will tell you, we all have seen, if you're a baseball fan, we've all seen baseball teams start hot, fall. Baseball teams start slow, pick up. I don't want that to happen. I want Atlanta to continue to roll. They've won 30 games already, and it's not even mid-May, which is great. But I also know that one day, I hope it's not soon, they are going to come back down to earth a little bit. They're going to come back down to earth because it's a long season. Things are going to go wrong. You don't play good every game. Michael Jordan didn't. It's going to happen, and we're going to have to prepare ourselves as Braves fans that this start has been electric, but we just don't need to panic when the tough times hit because they're going to hit.
What makes me nervous is when you've got guys, for example, I'm pointing right at Drake Baldwin, who is still tearing the cover off the ball. He's one of the best hitters on the team right now. Drake Baldwin, he was the starting catcher for the first, 25 games or so of the season. And he was playing really, really good baseball offensively and defensively. Then, Sean Murphy comes back. You got to put him back in the lineup. Sean Murphy is hitting below 100 right now. That's not good. He is obviously, I know that he hasn't played very many games this year, but he has by far the worst average on the season. He's only got 14 plate appearances. So again, very small sample size. But, if you're Drake Baldwin and you're hitting at 295 and you've got, if you've got 6 doubles and 11 home runs and 51 hits over the course of the season, if something were to break and this team start losing games, maybe you're Drake Baldwin getting a little upset about that. Like, what's the deal, coach? I'm hitting 295, yet you're starting Sean Murphy and he's hitting below 100.
Well, look, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago as well. When things are working really well, sometimes it does scare you just from the standpoint of you don't want to touch anything, right? You don't want to touch anything. Drake Baldwin's going to be fine. Everything is going to work out for him. I think there's so much talent on this team that even if they do hit a slump, which they will, they'll work their way out of it, hopefully. But you also have to understand that that's just how baseball works sometimes. When you play this many games, it's going to happen. The championship is not won in the month of May. So it's one of the processes. You just have to trust the process. I know you don't like hearing that, but you do. It's just part of it, Diesel. Let's continue the conversation in hour number 4. Let's keep it on the diamond, but bring it locally. Clemson, South Carolina. Oh, where do both programs go from here? Now that the season is just about wrapped up, we'll talk to John Whittle in a few minutes as well, but a little college baseball next. Well, you heard the big voice man in the Sports Flash a few minutes ago. The NFL schedule release tonight, Diesel. How about that? How you like them apples?
I like it. We've already got part of it. Leave it up to the NFL to tease something, right? We get the international slate. And then apparently there was a leak for the Carolina Panthers and Buccaneers game in Week 12. So we've already got part of it.
I think the Bears leak too. Let me look here.
How do they spread this? Like, for the people that get the leaks, let's say they're accurate. How the NFL is putting a lot of trust in a lot of people saying, hey, we're going to send this stuff out. And we ask that you not post it for a while.
Well, they sent it to me and I did.
So you've already got the whole thing.
Roger Goodell, he emailed. Let me look at my email. Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me type in Goodell, G-O-D. Yeah, he emailed me 2 days ago.
Is that Big Raj at NFL.com?
No, that's his personal email. No, I have his work. I don't do his personal stuff.
Hotmail, Big Raj at hotmail.com.
No, that's just, we don't do that personal stuff. That's for Diana Roosteen. We stay strictly professional, Diesel. That's what we do. Roger Goodell emailed me. He sent it over, but I don't leak stuff. I mean, I'm just going to wait till it comes out tonight. I mean, that's the professional thing to do,
of course.
Right?
You have to sit on it.
Sit on it. So we're excited about that. Let's see. We do have, like you said, a few leaks already. How about Niners-Rams? Niners-Rams, Melbourne, Australia. We talked about that a little bit yesterday. If you have Netflix, you can watch that on New Ground Down Under, the league's Australian debut. High-profile game, Niners-Rams. I mean, we're all excited about that game, of course, like playoff game, but yay, it's in Melbourne. We can't wait to see fans cheering that have no idea who any of these players are on the team. I mean, they don't know.
They're just excited that the NFL is there.
Can I go? Let me do this. Here's what I'm going to try to do. I have bashed this international schedule, which I don't like. Now I'm going to try to go to the Dallas Cowboy Ravens game in, was it Rio?
You going?
I mean, it'd be fun, right?
Yeah, it would.
It'd be fun.
That's a long flight.
So, is that Brazil?
It is.
Let's see.
No, Rio. Is that Argentina?
I don't know. Somewhere down south, right? I should know that. But look, that would be fun. It would be fun to travel somewhere.
It is in Brazil.
It is? Okay, I've never been to Brazil. I have my passport, so let me see how much flights are. Let me see how much tickets are to the game. Be a lot of fun. Be a lot of fun to go to Mexico. I don't know if I come back or not, right? If they allow me to come back. But that's the international, part of it. Like, if it's international but close enough, maybe there's fan intrigue.
That is an 8.5-hour flight from Miami. You in?
It would depend on how much.
The flight is twice as long as the game, and then you got to make the flight twice, so it's 4 times as long as the game.
I've been on a 16-hour flight before.
Oh, that sounds awful.
It is awful.
That sounds awful. No.
It is. It's pretty bad. 8.5 hours is still long, though. That's a long flight.
I don't like flights over 4.
Yeah, that's a long
time.
It would be tough. It would be tough. I didn't realize it was 8.5 hours to Brazil
from Miami. So you got to.
And Miami seems close.
Yeah, you got to make the 1.5-hour flight down to Miami from Atlanta.
Yeah.
Or
Jeez. Okay, maybe not. I'll watch on Netflix or MySpace, whatever it's streaming on. I don't know what it's streaming on. Mike, how is Mike Vrabel and Diana Rossini going to watch the schedule release, by the way? What's that going to be about?
They're going to watch it on a love seat together. Did you see the pictures of Diana smooching with her husband?
Yeah, was that made up? Was that real?
It was real. It was Mother's Day. She's a mother of 2. She's got a husband who
of 1.
Well, yeah. Well, we're not sure.
I'm kidding.
Well, maybe a wife of a mother of 2 from 2 different men, possibly.
You know what I do find really funny, and I think this could be like the best thing that's ever happened in professional sports. You ready for this? Speaking of Rossini and Vrabel.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll happen or not, but there is a golden opportunity. When these teams do their schedule releases, some fun videos, they make fun of their opponents. Oh, can you imagine having New England Patriots on your schedule? You could really have some good content there with some kisses, maybe some. I mean, just think about these marketing teams sitting in these nice rooms.
You can have a boat, a little animated boat come out and reveal the opponents one by one.
You know, the best part, I did some digging today. I thought about this earlier. I said, I want to know if this is something that could happen. The NFL has come out and said they will not be policing or reviewing these videos in advance. So teams have some pretty good leeway.
Pay the fines. I don't know who it is.
No doubt.
I don't know who's going to do it. Probably Philly. I don't know who's going to stoop to those levels, but stoop.
But
please
yeah,
stoop.
These social media teams they're made up of young, young people who are sitting up there. You're telling me they're not sitting there thinking if they play the Patriots, how they can make it about, I hope and pray. I mean, this could be epic.
I hope for Diana's sake that the photo was real and that they are working on their marriage and working on the relationship, and it's not just for show. Like, I hope that they have internally decided, like, look, she's like, I screwed up. I screwed up really, 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 really bad. So we've got kids, so we need to stay together. She'll never come out and publicly admit it, right?
It was our fault talking about it.
We are the jerks for bringing it up.
But this is like the one day that these teams can like fire shots at these other teams. And imagine the Jets and who else, Bills and whoever in that division that play the Patriots every year. I mean, they could have a lot of fun. They could do it not once, but twice.
The Dolphins are in their division as well.
That could be
That's
fun.
a division that doesn't make any sense. I get it. Patriots, Jets, Bills, I get it.
They're up there geographically.
Dolphins, why the hell are the Dolphins in the AFC East?
Man, I love it. Oh, I love it. I want so bad. It would really make my year just to see, like, just absolute. And I guess the worst thing that happens is, hey, you get a phone call from the Patriots and say, hey, we don't really appreciate that. Like, NFL's not going to do anything. They've said they're not policing.
Beat us on the field then.
Yeah. I love it.
Tell your coach to keep in his pants.
I would absolutely, as a sports fan, love to see.
Oh, what if the video was somebody folding up the schedule and putting it in their pocket, and the tagline was, "Keep it in your pants."
Oh, God, that'd be good. That'd be good.
You know the little pocket schedules that used to get places?
Oh, yeah.
Keep it in your pants.
Oh, yeah.
A message brought to you by the Buffalo Bills.
That's what I'm saying. This could be great. And I will be so disappointed now. But I mean, so disappointed if nobody does any kind of fun trolling. I mean, this would be just a great opportunity. So we'll see. We'll see if it happens. NFL schedule release is tonight. We'll see tomorrow we'll be able to sit here, Diesel, and evaluate. We'll have the paper in our hands, a schedule. We'll be able to do our first ever 2026 predictions for the Carolina Panthers tomorrow, as we'll know their opponents. We'll know when they play them, who they play. I can't wait. It's not as exciting as the draft, but it's going to be a lot of fun. 8 p.m. tonight, by the way. You probably won't have to wait that long to see the schedule. I think you'll see a lot of these videos before then, maybe before we get off the air. I don't know, but it's going to be a lot of fun. What has not been a lot of fun? In about 12, 15 minutes, we'll talk to John Whittle of the Big Spur. We talk to him every Thursday at 4:22. What's not been a lot of fun is what happened this past week in college baseball, Diesel. We mentioned it yesterday, but this season for South Carolina and Clemson, let's talk about this for just a few minutes. The regular season comes to an end this weekend. Clemson up in Blacksburg at Virginia Tech. South Carolina finishing off the season at Vandy on the road. And I really can't wait to get John Whittle's perspective on this, but where do you go from here if you're both programs? We know that one's probably going to have a big coaching search very, very soon, but I just think we're in a time that we haven't experienced much when it comes to in-state college baseball. We've seen programs, Clemson and Carolina, struggle, but can you remember a time where both Tolo's out there? 844-FAN phone. Can you remember a time, Diesel and Tolos, where both programs have been this bad? How do you recover? Where do you go from here is what I want to know.
Yeah, it would have to have been like pre-Gamecock run, pre-national titles. You'd have to go way back to find an era when I
don't know that you could, really.
That would have been during the Jack Leggett era when Clemson was always pretty good, not like nationally elite every year, but usually pretty good. And you just have to find both on a down year.
I don't know that you could do it. I don't know that you could find, if you went back as father time, as far back as they both played, I don't know that you could find them both being this bad. Now, on the Clemson perspective, do you see, in your opinion, Diesel, Tolos out there, if you're a Clemson fan, really want to hear from you as well, Clemson baseball fan, 844-326-3663. Have you seen enough this season that warrants some assistant coaching changes? Or do you just have to trust in what you've done your first few years under Eric Bakich and just chalk this up as one bad year?
I think you have to chalk it up as one bad year because the Eric Bakich thing is still fairly new. But I think it also does start to sort of expose, it starts to put thoughts in the AD's mind of like, hey, I really want to see him bounce back. I like him. The fans like him. He's a fiery guy, and he has made regionals and super regionals before. So we can't pull the trigger on him now. We're going to ask him to make changes, and then if it's still this bad next year, this time, maybe we have that conversation.
You know what I think it comes down to? You know where I think fans go? Yes, Diesel fans have an opinion on Eric Bakich and Monty Lee and this coach and that coach. But I think in this state, the conversation's really turning. The conversation's really slanting toward money. I think you and I both can probably admit on what we know about baseball that Eric Bakich is a good coach, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think the conversation's just more and more and more about money, and the fans in this state not confident that their programs have the money to compete at the highest level nationally. I think that's where it goes. Yeah, we can make it about Eric Bakich. Hey, we can make it about Monty Lee, Paul Bennett. But at the end of the day, you've got to have the dudes on the field. And I think a lot of, just from the conversations I'm having from friends of mine on both sides of the coin, I think a lot of fans are making it more about money, which I don't know that I disagree with, than they are about the coach. I think you could pull me down that road, R-O-A-D. I think you could pull me down that road that maybe it has a little bit more to do with these programs not having the best. We talked about with Grayson Mann on Monday. I think the money's a big part of it.
Yeah, I mean, a great coach, you and I both know a great coach can get more out of a less expensive roster, but a bad coach can certainly crap the bed with a really expensive roster.
They can.
It's much easier to do that. It's much easier to fail with a really expensive roster but a bad coach than it is to win with a mid-level price roster and a great coach.
And we talked about that with Grayson Mann of TigerNet. I asked him the question, could we ever see a day where a publication has like a live ranking of school by school by school when it comes to NIL, what their spend is? And to Grayson's point, some of that, with them being private schools, they're disclosed, right? You can't access all of that. You can get a gauge. You can get an idea.
And what do you believe, right? I mean, there's all these stories of, hey, we're offering this kid $10 million. And then a couple years later, you find out from the kid, oh, no, the school only paid me like $4 million.
Yeah, it's true.
So what are we believing? Are we believing the reported number? Will we ever get the accurate numbers? Some NILs don't pay out.
I'm not saying, like, I don't want to be Debbie Downer here, because we are in the state of South Carolina and we hope that both programs do really well in all sports because it makes better radio for the most part when teams are good. But I don't want to be like too much of Debbie Downer, but I do want to be realistic in the sense of Diesel. I don't know that Clemson and Carolina in this new era, I don't know that either school is set up long-term to be a national contender in any sport. And that sounds really melancholy. That sounds real. I'm just going to throw off the radio. We listen to sports radio. I get it. It doesn't sound fun, but I don't know. Am I wrong, Tolos? Do you feel like Clemson and Carolina are set up long-term to go against the biggest NIL budgets?
It feels like you gotta hit on exactly the right coach and get lucky and try your best to hang on to him. I think if I'm thinking like potential for the future, if South Carolina lands on the right coach, and if it's Kevin Schnall, it's Kevin Schnall. If it's Landon Powell, it's Landon Powell. And I think there is the ability for them to get back to national prominence. The ceiling, I think, for Eric Bakich is probably supers. I think occasionally he'll make it to Omaha.
Yeah.
But things are not looking like they're trending in that direction today. Again, looking at it through those bleak, dark, and stormy glasses.
And I'm with you on the whole coach thing, like having a good coach elevates a roster, having a good coach, a really good coach, you can squeeze that lemon and get all the juice out of it, right? You can really get the potential out of your team. I'm with you. But let's say you go hire Kevin Schnall. Let's say you go hire Landon Powell. You go whoever. If you're Carolina, even if you have Eric Bakich and Kevin Schnall, two good coaches, because all I'm saying is because of the NIL budgets, I think even if you had Schnall and Eric Bakich in the same state at Clemson and South Carolina, I still think there's a ceiling there because of what they can do in the NIL space. Does that improve one day? I'd hope so.
Yeah.
I just, maybe my mind is too minute and maybe I can't wrap my mind around how like Clemson and Carolina can compete with an Indiana when you've got
Mark
a
Cuban
money. Or a Texas Tech.
I
don't know.
I know South Carolina is producing a bunch of lawyers. They're producing what do they have? They have a medical school at South Carolina.
They do. Yeah.
They're producing doctors. They have a dentistry school down there too, I think, as well. They're producing high paying degree people. Clemson, yeah, they're producing engineers, but how much money is there really in that program? And when you talk about salaries over the course of the next 40, 50 years of graduates' lives, I think Clemson needs to really look at trying to start another high dollar, high value, high revenue producing degree program so that you maybe do create more of those types of individuals over time. But that's an if. That's a big if.
Or have more George Strait concerts.
Yeah, well, that's one way to do it.
You have to figure out how to skin the cat.
I got an idea. Bank robbery.
I mean,
a heist.
Nobody would expect Dabo to do it, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe they'll just cut a deal with the PE firm and get a $30 million line of credit.
Yeah, you could do that.
Did you see that story last week?
No.
Oh, the Big 12 announced their new private equity deal. And as part of that deal, here's what's great about it. As part of that deal, every school was offered a $30 million line of credit, a credit card for $30 million to do with what they please. More than half of the schools already turned it down. Thank God.
That's crazy.
I mean, think about if schools are using a line of credit to pay for NIL, players that could just up and run and leave whenever they want to. That is a horrible way.
Oh, yeah.
Horrible way to use money that you have to pay back at a high interest rate.
I think a line of credit's a horrible idea in any situation in life. I do. But that's just me. All right. Let me ask you this real quick. Texter, where was it? Before we run, I'll get a John Whittle here in a minute. Texter from the 978 said, Cole, the South Carolina High School League bill passed yesterday. Any thoughts on it? I will get to it at 5:20. 5:20 Texter, I'll get to it. I do have some thoughts on it. Texter from the 344 says, what irks my nerves about the money thing is the schools do have the money, but I think they are just allocating more of it towards football than baseball and basketball. Well, Texter, they are allocating more toward football and baseball or football and basketball. But I don't know that. My point is, I don't know they have the money. They don't. It's not I don't know. It's they don't have the money that a lot of these other schools do. So I think it's a double-edged. You have to allocate the money toward football.
If you're talking about, Tennessee baseball or, the tippy-top programs in the country, they don't have all the resources they want for baseball either, right? I mean, they might have more resources than Clemson has for baseball, but they don't have every single dollar they could possibly want. And we don't know how all these other schools have decided to allocate the $20.5 million that they have to spend out from House versus NCAA. But remember, Clemson, they've already announced that they are doing it based on the percentage of revenue that you bring in. So if you're Eric Bakich, you got to figure out ways to generate revenue through the baseball program that could then help you get a larger percentage of that $20.5 million bucks.
Yeah.
So maybe we're going to see more concerts on the baseball field. Who knows? Who knows? The guy that does know, especially when it comes to South Carolina baseball, is John Whittle of the Big Spur, now been renamed, Cole, if you haven't seen this, to Gamecock 247. They have changed the name of their outlet. John going to join us next.
the Fan Upstate.
Well, the 2026 South Carolina Gamecocks are setting records, Cole. Unfortunately, it's not the kind of records that you want to be setting. They have now eclipsed the total of 29 losses last year, which is the highest number of losses the Gamecocks have ever had in a single season. We're now with 31 losses and 3 more games to go. To talk about the South Carolina Gamecocks baseball program, he covers them every single day, John Whittle of Gamecock 247. John, you know, I'd imagine the narrative around that locker room right now is some combination of it's a 3-game season or play for pride. Maybe the truth is play for the portal. What is the mantra in the locker room right now?
Well, I hate to start out by correcting you. I'm not covering the Gamecock baseball program every day because I'm not up in Nashville for the series this weekend. I'm actually headed up in y'all's general direction up to the Gamecock Club meeting that's in Gaffney tonight.
Oh, are you really? At the Capri Theater, is that right?
Oh, is that how you say it? I've been calling it the Capri Theater.
No, John, listen.
The Capri Theater.
No, hey.
I'm going to the historic Capri Theater.
No, you are probably right, and we have listeners in Gaffney. They'll probably correct. You're probably right. I'm probably wrong. I don't know how to pronounce it. Let's just settle on Gaffney. So that's fun. That's fun. But you know what? Should be a good turnout. Is Mike Furry speaking at that thing tonight?
Yeah, Mike Furry and Deion Barnes, the new defensive ends outside linebackers coach. So they should be in for a treat up there tonight. And
That's
they
awesome.
get to see myself and Hal McGranahan. So even a better treat.
No doubt. John Whittle joining us, Gamecock 247. I was out of the country last week. For those, and I'm sure you and Diesel might have talked about it, for those that don't know, with the name change, talk about some updates about what you guys are doing, John, and the new name that you guys are represented by now.
Yeah, I'll do that, and then I'll answer Mr. Diesel's question. I got sidetracked.
You're good.
Yes. Yeah, we are now Gamecock 247. You know, we've changed names. We've still got the same community. Still very active. Still all the same members. Still the same staff. And you know, between myself, Hal McGranahan, Alex Jones, Ryan Bethea, Ben Briner, you know, I think we've got you covered on football, recruiting, basketball, baseball, all that good stuff. So just because the name has changed, the content and the community remains the same. So, yeah, certainly appreciate you bringing that up and letting me speak on that. And then, you know, to answer Diesel's question, you know, I don't know what the rallying cry is among those guys. It doesn't feel like, if you've watched for the last 2 weeks, they're even really talking to each other. I don't think they're playing for pride right now. I don't really think they're playing for the portal either. I mean, the numbers just keep going down and down. I mean, you get 5 hits against a Winthrop team the other night. I mean, they've got a good record, and their RPI is better than the Gamecocks, but, you know, it's still a team that you should go out there and perform a lot better against than they did. And, you know, giving away some at-bats, and you're just watching numbers just go in the wrong direction. So, you know, I don't really know what they're playing for right now. I'd have thought there would be some measure of personal pride, even if it's not a pride in the jersey. I would have thought there'd be some measure of personal pride or some measure of playing to position yourself a little bit better in the portal. But neither one of those things are really happening right now. And Monty Lee pretty much called that out after the game on Tuesday.
Well, John, you know what you have to do. You need to take the obligatory selfie right in front of the Gaffney Peach. And if the Gamecocks end up getting swept over the weekend against Vandy, and this is not Vandy of a couple of years ago, this Vandy team is down as well, then you can post it with the caption, "This Gamecock baseball team is," and we all know what the giant peach actually looks like.
What's it look like, Diesel?
Looks like a butt. It looks like a butt, Cole.
Oh, I didn't know.
He's never seen it that way.
Imagine that. John, you know, it's really interesting. We were talking about 15 minutes ago or so on the show, Clemson and South Carolina, and you have much more knowledge about the history of South Carolina over the past few years, and even dating back in some earlier years as well. I'm not asking you to pull out your encyclopedia right now and put you on the spot, but I am going to put you on the spot a little bit. Can you recall a time? I know you don't cover Clemson, but you keep your eye on them, I'm sure, because they're in the state. Can you recall a time since you have been in this field that Clemson and South Carolina baseball have ended a season with, I guess, this bad of mojo as the season comes to an end?
Ooh, you know, not this bad a mojo for sure. I think both teams missed the tournament in 22, if I'm right on that. So I mean, there certainly weren't good feelings, that season, but this is the lowest point that I can recall for South Carolina baseball in my time covering the program. And with the expectations that Clemson had going into this year, and even at the start of the season, I can't imagine that this has to be one of the most disappointing that they've ever had as well. So I mean, when it comes to positive momentum and mojo and feel good factor, like I can't imagine there being a lower point for both programs simultaneously than there is right now.
John, talking to John Whittle of Gamecock 247. Put that in your browser and save it as a favorite. The portal for baseball opens on June 1st. So the window is short if Jeremiah Donati wants to get a hire made before the portal opens. Obviously, with football, that was the portal opening was the big date that you have to have a coach in place for. Same with basketball. Do you think, is it the same with baseball? Do you have to try to make this hire before June 1? How critical is that?
I mean, it'd be great if it's possible, but I don't know that it's going to be possible. I mean, the guys you want are probably going to still be coaching at that point in time, and I just don't know that it can get done quite that quickly. I mean, you want to mitigate as much as you can, but at some point you've got to say, like, this is a hire that we want to have make our program stable, and if we've got to wait another week or two, then that's what we got to do. That's what you got to say if you're Jeremiah Donati. In my opinion, like you can't settle on a coach just because of the portal in 1 year. I mean, we talk about it all the time. Like, you're building teams right now. I don't use the term program very often anymore. I mean, you're building teams right now in college athletics, and if you've got to sacrifice a little bit, for your 2017 to be sure you have the right coach in place for 28, 29, 30, 31, and I can't believe we're getting that high in years. By God, I'm getting old. But yeah, it's just like it might just be what you have to do. And let's just pretend you hire Kevin Schnall. Like, he's probably going to bring several of his players from Coastal Carolina, and that would be a big benefit. I mean, if you hire a sitting head coach, some of those guys are going to want to come play for their head coach at South Carolina, play at Founder's Park, play for the Gamecocks in the SEC. So there could be some mitigation there when it comes to being able to bring some players and getting a late start. But there's good players that are going to be there on June 15th. Like, there just are, and the pond is not going to be as chock full of fish, but there's going to still be plenty of good fish in there that you can go out and get. And South Carolina resources its baseball program really well now, really has for the last couple of years, and I don't think they're going to back off of that investment. From an NIL standpoint, from an operating budget standpoint, from a administrative support standpoint, I don't think they're going to be backing off any of that, coming up. So you're going to have opportunity from a resource standpoint, if you're a new head coach, whether you take over on June 1st or June 15th.
John, as of May 14th, for those that don't know, that maybe have been out of the loop, what you can share, what is the latest on the hot board? What's the latest you've heard?
Well, I'll be honest with you, Cole. I haven't really dived too much into it here. I mean, that's coming up right now, and I keep saying calendar flip to May. I've started to make a couple of calls here this week, but nothing I feel really good about right now. Like, I felt from the beginning and still feel today that, like, Kevin Schnall is either at the top of the list of targets or right near there. Like, to me, I think that's where this thing is going to begin, and we'll see as I nail down a little bit more concrete information. But at the end of the day, there's still a couple weeks left of the season, and there's stuff happening, but it's not real deep at this point. But it's getting going here.
John, what was the reaction on your website, Gamecock 247, to Monty Lee's statement earlier last week, the thanking fans for continuing to come out, the apologies for the way that it's gone, and then, of course, the look to the future and saying this thing is going to recover. Can you give us kind of a mix of, was it, yeah, okay, coach, whatever, we don't care? Was it, we appreciate him? Kind of what was the chatter like?
As bad as it sounds, I think a lot of folks have just kind of tuned things out at this point, and you see it in the attendance, right? Like, I mean, it's just not a whole lot of engagement. I think they can kind of sense it from the team here over the last couple of weeks. And it's the losses have kind of taken a toll on the fan base too, not just this year, but last year as well. So, I mean, to answer your question, there just wasn't a real strong reaction in any capacity. I do think that there are some. I think there's a segment of the diehard baseball folks who are very appreciative of the effort that Monty has put into trying to get this thing right and doing the best that he can. I mean, he is invested in this place. Like, he grew up going to Williams-Brice Stadium for football games and grew up going to Sarge Fry Field to watch the baseball team. He grew up, as a Gamecock, and this is what he wants, and he's tried to put every ounce of what he has into this. It just hasn't been good enough for 1,000 different reasons, since he's taken over as interim. And I think folks do recognize that and appreciate that fact, but I don't think there are many people who don't want to move in a completely different direction. I think a lot of folks are ready to get some new blood into Gamecock baseball and go from there.
We're talking to John Whittle, Gamecock 247, right here on the Van Upstate 97 FM or 97.1 FM Spartanburg, 97.7 FM Greenville, 101.5 FM in Anderson. John, just to keep this in your pocket, you were right. I had a friend of mine text me in Gaffney, and he said it is Capri, just like Capri's Italian restaurant. So you were right on that. Don't ever listen to me when it comes to how you pronounce things. Diesel can tell you I'm pretty bad at that. So Capri Theater is where you are going. I want to ask you this, though. You mentioned the turning of the page, if you will. Once the season's over, we turn the page to the search and where Jeremiah Donati and company go for this next baseball coach. Let's just go straight to what John Whittle thinks when it comes to who should be the next head coach. Kevin Schnall, do you think Carolina can get him? Landon Powell, do you think he'll even have a conversation with him? Other names out there that we haven't talked about.
Well, I think you can get Kevin. I'll just say this, and you asked specifically about Landon, so I'll address that. I think Jeremiah Donati absolutely should talk to Landon Powell. And see where that conversation goes. But, regardless of whether he feels like Landon is ready to be a head coach at a place like South Carolina or not, he needs to get a perspective of a guy who played at South Carolina, played at a high level, played at a high level at South Carolina, then played at a high level in the MLB. I just think that you need to have that conversation with him and just get a better sense of what South Carolina baseball was all about when it was great, right? So, they need to at least have a conversation. If it turns into more than that, if it turns into being a candidate for head coach, sure. I mean, go for it. But what I do know is that I really like the options that are out there for South Carolina right now in this coaching search cycle. Like the names that came across my desk, a couple of years ago before, Ray Tanner ended up settling on Paul Maneri, they for me, a lot of those names didn't really do it. But I think that there are a lot of great names out there and a lot of great candidates that South Carolina can hire that can make this program pretty successful and do it pretty quickly in a variety of different ways, whether it's a sitting head coach like a Kevin Schnall or a Dan Fitzgerald at Kansas, or I would call Wes Johnson over at Georgia. I mean, I would call him and see what he says. And he's at a 2,500 seat stadium, and he's got a top 10 team in the country, and those guys just don't show up. Maybe maybe he wants to. I don't know, but you can call guys like that. There's been some real success for in the SEC with hiring SEC assistant coaches here lately, like Wes Johnson, for example. But there's a Nolan Kane out there at Texas. There's a Josh Jordan at LSU. There's a Justin Parker at Mississippi State. Like, those guys have been successful. You can go. There are a lot of different directions you can go that I think Jeremiah Donati can make a hire and be successful. Now, what he's going to end up valuing, I don't know. We're going to learn a lot about Jeremiah Donati, I think, in this coaching search and what he values and what he's looking for. But I do think that he's got a pool of candidates he can choose from that I don't think there are too many wrong steps that he could make.
John, a quick follow-up to that. I asked this question back toward the beginning of the season when the slide began, maybe even around the time Maneri got fired. Jeremiah Donati was hired in December of 2024. His start date was January 2nd, 2025. I asked this question kind of tongue-in-cheek, kind of joking, but kind of being serious as well. Do you think earlier this year, and if not, at what point, do you think Jeremiah Donati knew who Landon Powell was?
Probably not. Probably not. I'll say this, and I don't mean this bad or disrespectfully to Jeremiah Donati. Like, I don't think that that's necessarily was really top of his mind at that point in time. Jeremiah Donati was hired for a couple of different reasons in South Carolina. I mean, one of them was certainly to fix or to elevate some of the main sports, like baseball. But he was hired because his strengths as an AD were in fundraising, which is a huge deal right now with the NIL and that general landscape, right? And then, one of his other main responsibilities and strengths at TCU was facilities and development from that side of things. And South Carolina obviously has a lot of that going on. That doesn't mean Jeremiah Donati can't hire coaches and that he doesn't know the landscape, but since he's been here since the 1st of January, 2nd of January in 25, I don't think he's necessarily been familiarizing himself, up to that point when you ask that question on who Landon Powell or who some of the top coaches might be. He's done that now, and I'm sure he knows who Landon Powell is now. But at that point in time, I think he's been trying to sell suites and raise money and fund NIL and do all of that good stuff to put whoever he hires in a great position from a financial standpoint.
And John, I can't even joke that maybe Jeremiah Donati is acting as a TCU sleeper cell, because these two teams rarely play each other in anything. So it's not like he's torpedoing the South Carolina programs on purpose. Last thing for you here before we let you go, John, I saw that on your website there's a big spring sale going on Gamecock 247. Can you tell us more about that for the Gamecock loving Tolos?
Yeah, well, we've always got some kind of special going on, and right now I believe it's 50% off of an annual subscription, if I'm right on that. So that's not too bad. And when you bill fully, you get Paramount Plus for free, and that's like $120 by itself.
How about that?
So there are plenty of benefits to coming and joining up with us, and you can get a nice little discount now, and you get Paramount Plus later. And I guess I should add, Jeremiah Donati's also been trying to facilitate that deal with Nike, which he got done, and that comes to pass here in about a month and a half when South Carolina can start putting on the swoosh. So that was another big deal that he's been working on that I failed to mention. But yes, Gamecock 247, we got a special going on. I don't know if we've got I think we still have the first month for $1 right now as well. So there's a lot of ways you can take advantage of what we've got going on.
Plus, I heard, John, that if you sign up, Jeremiah Donati will personally call you and ask you who you think should be the next head baseball coach. Is that true?
I can't make any guarantees on that, but I mean, I won't tell you he won't.
There you
I'd
go.
like to tell you.
There you go. It's not impossible.
John, you're the best as always. We appreciate your time. Enjoy the Gamecock Club meeting tonight at Capri Theater in Gaffney, and safe travels.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. John Whittle. It's Gamecock 247 is the new name, the new title. I was on the site just a minute ago. You Gamecock fans, Tolos, check it out.
Yeah.
If you haven't.
Signing up's worth it just for the free Paramount because there's so many sports that you can stream on Paramount.
Pretty good deal. How about that? Diesel, it's time to run off and hit our daily wires. What's happening in the sports world outside of what we've already discussed? It's our daily wires next. We have a long way to go, short time to get there, in our Daily Wires. It's the buzz. Top headlines happening in the sports world. In case you missed it, Diesel, the Atlanta Braves, what'd they do last night? They won another series.
Again, it's getting boring talking about the Braves winning all the time.
No, never. Another series win for the Atlanta Braves as the Braves defeated the Cubs Wednesday evening. Hear that, Dan B? 2 in a row. And all those other the Cubs fans. A couple Cubs fans on Monday talking about, the Braves going down. Where are they at today? 4-1 score last night. Braves now 30-13 on the season. Chris Sale on the mound tonight for Atlanta, 7:15. The Braves looking for the sweep tonight over the Chicago Cubs. Last night in the NBA, the Cavaliers took a 3-2 lead over the Detroit Pistons with a 117-113 win. There are no games tonight in the NBA. This makes 2 straight series at the 1 seed in the East. Detroit has trailed. In Denver, Brent Kulick's first goal since January will certainly be one to remember for him. Of course, Diesel, a building packed with fans who witnessed in a dramatic fashion the Avalanche end a series at home for the first time in 18 years. Colorado defenseman scored 3:52 into overtime after Nathan McKinnon tied it late in regulation. The Avalanche advanced to the Western Conference Finals with a 4-3 victory over the Minnesota Wild in Game 5 last night.
Suck it, Wild.
Yeah, what a terrible name anyways. Shohei Ohtani's return to a full-time 2-way role has seen him pitch better than ever, slump like never before, and take more days off than he is used to. He is less than 2 months away from his 32nd birthday while attempting a full-season 2-way role for the first time in 4 years, and conventional wisdom suggests this would be significantly harder on his body. Yeah. He said, hard to say, but I do feel young, Ohtani said. I feel good at my peak.
Through the first 10 games of this month, Cole, he is 4 for 36, an average of 111.
Good. That's what I want to hear. Hopefully it stays that way. The full NFL schedule will be released tonight at 8 p.m., but a leak has already revealed a few things, including Panthers-Bears opening up, Panthers-Buccaneers in Week 12, Monday Night Football, a few others as well, but full release tonight at 8 p.m.
The NFL sucks at keeping secrets.
Yeah, they've leaked a lot. The Miami Dolphins and running back Devon Achane agreed to a 4-year contract extension worth $64 million. A source confirmed to ESPN on Wednesday, keeping the Pro Bowler in South Florida through 2030. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver confirmed on Stephen A. Smith's radio show today that the league's Board of Governors later this month will revamp the draft lottery in an attempt to curb tanking. He said, what we've essentially done, and we have a proposal that we're going to be bringing to our team owners at the end of May, and that is to create essentially a system of flat odds so that you have no particular incentive to be bad, Silver said. I like the curbing of the tanking. I like that. I'm a fan. In Chicago, the Royals-White Sox game at Rate Field was delayed for a brief time yesterday after a fan fell into the Kansas City bullpen in right field. The fan can be seen on video tumbling over a rail above the bullpen during the bottom of the third when the White Sox scored a run on a Chase Meredith sac fly. The fan appeared to rise from his high seat as the ball took flight before falling.
Yeah, Thirsty Thursday is tonight, but fall off of the railing Friday is tomorrow.
Yeah, a couple days early.
Yeah, wait till the theme hits.
Yeah. 6 golfers are T1 in the PGA Championship at Aronimink right now. Justin Thomas has moved to 3 under. T1. Whoa.
Yeah.
I told you, just that log jam. Look at that log jam.
He's got 9 holes to go, man. He could take the lead or screw it up. Anything could happen.
That? We'll get to a few of those later in the show, but Diesel will keep an eye on the PGA Championship as those are your daily wires.
We will do it on the other side of the break. Tolos, it is your opportunity to get out your phones and voice your concerns. Is Dan B going to respond to being called Airplane Boy by Dewey earlier in the show?
I missed that.
Call in, be a part of the show, 844-326-3663. The Tolo Takeover is next.
update.
What is going on, Cole, with the cameramen and women around golf lately? We talked about it at the Masters. They missed Rory's approach shot on 18 from way off to the side. They also couldn't see the ball in his tournament-winning putt. Last week, they missed Bryson DeChambeau's albatross because nobody had a camera on him. And today, somehow, John Rahm hits a volunteer with a golf club and no one had video of it.
Yeah, it's pretty pathetic.
What is happening here?
I would have liked to seen somebody get just absolutely plunked by a golf club. So, even though that is a travesty, is Dewey, our old friend Dewey, who doesn't call into the show anymore, used to say, I still think it's more of a travesty that millions and millions of people were watching that Masters and couldn't see the ball. I think that even on 17, you mentioned it. I mean, you couldn't see where the ball went on 17. And then, the camera kind of stops at a wide shot and you're just sitting there thinking, what happened? Where'd the ball go? Camera didn't know where the ball went. 18, Rory, back-to-back Masters. Does his putt go in? We don't know. His legs are in front of it. So we got to get better cameramen, I guess. Or is it on the cameraman or is it on the directors for not having the right shot on the screen?
I have a song for Dewey, Cole. If you can, put me in on the board here. This song is for Dewey because apparently we just don't hear from him anymore. Dewey is somebody that we used to know, Cole.
Yeah,
I don't know what's happened to him. He has disappeared. He has found something else, I guess.
Done with us.
Yeah.
He's done with us. He absolutely is. It's a shame. It's a shame, Dewey. I mean, he still goes on the stream and gets his little legs in on the stream, but he doesn't call. He hadn't called in what, a week and a half?
He just does drive-bys now. He does drive-bys. He shows up. He picks a fight with our Dan B. He called him Airplane Boy, and then he disappears, and we don't hear from Dewey for the rest of the show. Dan, your response to being called Airplane Boy by Dewey?
I don't really have to acknowledge that. I mean, like you said, where's he been? I mean, some of us Tolos, myself, I think TA Experience, Cocky for a Reason, maybe Rick helped you out last week, gave you a little bit of help and talking points, but where was Dewey? Where was Tom?
Wow.
Wow. That's true. Tom didn't call in last week.
Really?
You needed it. Where were all the real Tolos?
So Tom didn't call in one time last week?
Now we should have another term. There's folos. There's fake Tolos.
Yeah,
the folos that only call in sometimes.
I've got to pause, both of you. You're telling me an entire week went by last week and I was going in Dewey, no Tom. Neither one of them?
Not one.
Wow.
And I appreciate all the Tolos that did call in last week.
Wow, that is bad. And are you go ahead. I'm sorry.
Next week what happens, right? Diesel, you're going to be gone.
I'm gone.
So it's going to be cool. We'll
Step up.
Yeah, are you going to help me out? Are you going to co-host with me, Dan?
Yeah, I'm always there.
Interaction is what makes this show great. Yeah. The ability for Cole and I to banter back and forth and to talk with you Tolos as well. I don't know, Dan, like maybe some people like the monologue style of radio. It's not for me, man. I want to be able to talk back and forth with people. That's what makes it great.
No, I mean, I've gotten so used to you two, like being, the back and forth, that going back and listening to say anyone else, I won't say any names, but even the previous person, like when you go and listen, it's like, ooh, it sounds very,
You can say it. It sucks.
It's like, oh man, how does anyone ever how does they make it work? Like it's tough.
Yeah.
I'll give them credit for having 5 hours worth of content to just,
and like Colin Cowherd's the same way, Dan. I mean, he's a pretty much by himself kind of guy.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of them. There's most of them are singles. There aren't a whole lot of dual 5-hour shows, 4-hour shows. So
that's what makes us great.
It's more fun to, when you have more, and maybe one day we will have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know, but it is more fun when we have, a conversation opposed to, me just sitting here next week and like Diesel said, monologuing by myself. So please have some good content. Actually, Dan, I had a conspiracy for you and the Tolos before we move off of you and go to the next Tolo on the Tolo Takeover. This is for you too, Diesel. I want to know if you just think it's a coincidence that you, Diesel, and myself, and all these conversations for the past couple of weeks have been about the dog days of summer being here for local sports talk radio. Y'all think I'm just a nobody. I made a few texts, made a few phone calls over the weekend. Bam, Murdaugh's case. Guess what happened? What happened yesterday? Reopen. We're doing the new trial all over again. So you don't think for the next 3 months we'll have anything to talk about? I mean, we'll turn into an Alex Murdaugh radio show if you want to. I mean, forget the sports. There's no sports in July.
Wow, Murdaugh.
You not a fan? Not a fan? Not a fan, Dan?
Looking forward to it.
God, thanks, Dan.
Thanks, Dan.
How many trials do we want to watch?
Well, more of them. Tom got called out by Rick, or it's not by Rick, by Dan.
What's your name?
Called you out for not calling last week, Tom. I know you've already made your excuses, but your response to Dan B.
I've been busy, man. Dan.
Yeah.
You know,
Busy. What have you been doing?
I got all kind of stuff going on. This is a busy time of year for me.
Fishing.
Between, work.
Find minnows.
And fishing. Yeah, exactly.
Driving around finding minnows is hard work.
Work this time of actual work this time of year is just a grind. But I'll tell you this, y'all said ain't much to watch on TV. Well, other than the Atlanta Braves just dominating the competition, I have this spring, I have actually got invested into the UFL. Okay.
Oh God.
Now, I am a football person first of all sports, so if I don't care who's playing football, if it's live and it's on TV, I'm going to make time to watch it. And I'm telling you, the product itself, some hate it, some think it's not very good. I get that. But if you genuinely love the sport of football, and you don't like watching a baseball game every day, from Thursday to Sunday this time of year, you can turn on Fox, you can turn on ABC, you can turn on ESPN, and you can watch the UFL. And I'll tell you, if you're a college football fan, you'll watch this and you'll see some kid and you'll say, oh, yeah, he played, for Florida a couple years ago. He played for Clemson a few years ago, whatever the case may be. And I'm telling you, it's done some good and some bad for me.
What good has it done?
Well, it is given me it's satisfied my want for football, which we're not going to get till 4 more months from now, whatever.
It's giving you more to invest in as well, right?
I hadn't really invested in it financially yet. Because you really don't know what you're going to get on a weekly basis. There's so many guys that are either getting cut or traded, whatever the case may be. So it's not really the best sport to invest in from a gambling standpoint. But if you're looking for football to watch and you don't want to watch reruns all summer, turn on the UFL. It's pretty fun. I enjoy it, and it's football.
What days? What days does it come on?
We don't have a game tonight, but we've got one tomorrow, and then we've got 2 on Saturday, and then we got another one on Sunday. So, if you're looking for something to do this weekend, turn it on, turn the grill on, and you just tell yourself it's the fall, and you'll have football to watch on Saturday.
Have you picked a team yet, Tom, to be your favorite?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I did. I went with the Louisville Kings. There's a first-year team. Mark Redmond's the head coach, So I went. I can't say I'm a bandwagon because I went with a team who hadn't had a team before. So, it's been fun. It's been fun to watch.
That sounds fun, Tom. It does.
Hey,
it really does.
Can you promise Cole that you won't abandon him next week like you did me?
I'm solo next week, Tom.
I can't make any promises. I'm on a busy week next week.
But
if you need me to come up there and be your co-host, I'll do it.
Thanks,
I just
Tom.
need a little bit of advance.
And for some gas money, too.
I love that.
Thanks, Tom.
I think that's a great
Good
idea.
stuff.
Tom in Somerville is great. Can you imagine, though, for a minute, Tom in Somerville co-hosting with me? I mean, that would be unbelievable.
I looked, I tried to find UFL on the ESPN website. You got to go to more sports all the way down to the bottom to find UFL. Here's the fun part, Cole. You can click on the week-by-week scores, but you can't click on any of the team names. Like, they're not linkable. So there's no stats. There's no rosters, at least on ESPN.com. There's nothing except for the team names and the scores. That's
Tolo
it.
J. Butane on the Joy Law Firm text line says, NBA playoffs, my wife is a diehard Spurs fan. My 13-year-old's a raging OKC fan. Asking for a Tolo prayer, I make it through the series. About to be wild at Casa de Butane. That should be a good series, though. Should be. Texter gets in from the 554 and says, as a cameraman, we are taken for granted. Everybody thinks they're a cameraman nowadays because everybody has phones.
My cousin is an actual ABC ESPN cameraman.
That's pretty cool.
Like he's last I checked, this is a couple years ago, last time I talked to him. He was like 50-yard line camera, main feed at he happened to have been up in Greenville in the upstate covering a Clemson game, but he travels, goes to all the big stadiums.
Adam gets in, says drinking game every time. Tom says, that would be a lot of drinking. What about Rick and Greer? He's up next, Diesel, on the Tolo Takeover. What's up, Rick?
I'm doing well. How about you?
Fantastic. Great. It's been a beautiful day. The sun's shining.
Where is Diesel going next week?
Nowhere.
He's going to Nicaragua to play with the Pygmies?
Play with what?
The Pygmies.
Do they have those down there, Cole?
I would not know.
No, I'm staycationing. I'm playing
baby.
golf. I'm working around the house. I'm fighting with my dog.
Are you going to play with the Leprechaun?
I hadn't called the Leprechaun's agent yet. See, I can't deal directly with the Leprechaun. I got to call his agent.
Oh, well, I called his agent and asked him to go fishing. So you can go fishing with us. We're going Saturday.
Rick, how many times have you called me and asked me to go fishing?
I asked you to go to a ball game with me, and you wouldn't go. You and Diesel.
Yeah, because we work from 3 to 7.
You did tell him that he wasn't allowed to go to baseball games, and he just went anyway.
I went anyway, and the Braves are still winning.
Let's go.
I heard Dewey on another station. I think they've adopted him on Roar.
No way.
I say that name, but that's who I heard him on.
Has he jumped ship?
I believe he has.
Wow. We'll have to see if we can confirm that. I don't know whose loss is that. I'm kidding, Dewey.
Because Dewey is a great person.
He is. He's a great guy.
I'm sorry he's in prison, but he's a great person. Okay.
Oh, Rick, Leprechaun of Lyman just texted the show and said, "What fishing invite?" He didn't get a fishing invite.
I invited him today. I texted him. I don't guess he got the text.
So you're full of this, what you say.
Leprechaun, yes. I want you. Let's go fishing Saturday. Leprechaun and his agent. And I'll bring my agent.
Dear God. Thanks, Rick. Who's stuff. Rick's agent? That'd be a fun Saturday, wouldn't it? I mean, wouldn't that be a fun Saturday? Dale's up next on the Tolo Takeover. Hadn't heard from Dale in quite a while. Good to hear from you, Dale.
Well, how you doing, buddy?
Doing fantastic.
Dale. How was the mission trip? Let's start there.
It was really good. It was really hot, but you know what? You push through and you hydrate. Gatorade, water. It was a great week. Missed it already, but built 3 houses, and it was a good week, man.
Good stuff. So let's do this. Let's do Monday at 5 o'clock. That first segment from 5 to 5:20.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk the Cowboy schedule. And pick wins and losses and compare and see who was closer at the end of the season.
Me and you?
Book it.
Well, 5 o'clock is Overreaction Monday.
Dale show.
It's Overreaction Monday.
Overreact to the schedule I'm going to give you the wins and losses of the Cowboys.
Good. That was nice. Nicely played. Listen,
okay.
What about if we just talk Cowboys for the entire week? How about that?
I'd be fine with that too. Or hey, if you want to push it back to 5:20, I'm flexible.
Oh, okay.
I'm flexible.
Good to know.
Yeah.
You can flex me like the Sunday night game. Let's go. Okay.
At what point in the segment are you going to talk about when the season's officially going to be over for the Cowboys? Is it going to be week number 10? Is it going to be week 17? Like, you got to predict that too, when you're all going to jump ship and say it's over.
I'll probably say the divisional because I can't see us get to an NFC championship game with Dak as our quarterback.
Look at him. He already knows it's over.
Thanks, Dale. That's really rude.
Why do you Cowboys fans do this to yourselves?
Jeez.
Thanks, Dale.
Yeah. I mean, what are we doing?
You already know it's going to end badly, but you start the season with the same amount of piss and vinegar that you always do.
I got high hopes. I got Super Bowl hopes, as always. I mean, what are we doing here? If we're not aiming for the big one, what are we aiming for, you know? I mean, come on. I love it. I love it. That sounds good, though. We're going to need the Tolos to be involved next week. And Dale co-host one day, Rick co-host another.
Yeah.
Dewey, well, if Dewey's jumped ship on us, he might have jumped ship. Who knows?
The banter makes it better. I'm telling you that right now. It's better.
I can't believe that. I mean, old Dewey, man. What the heck? What have we done?
Maybe we should block him. You know what? You leave us, you're done. You're dead to us.
Dead to us. Dead to a lot of Tolos, though, would text in and say, no, it's y'all's gain that he's not calling in. But, you know, we have a pretty large split on
What
that.
if that's him right there?
No, I've gotten pretty good. What I do is the phone's to my left, Diesel. I've gotten pretty good at recognizing numbers. Like Tom has a weird area code, so I can pick out Tom quick. I don't think this is. No, I don't think this is Dewey.
That's okay. We'll find out.
75% no, 25% maybe.
All right. We'll find out here in just a second. Of course, we're going to get you some updates a little bit later on, maybe in the next segment or in the 540 segment on what's going up at the Aronimink at the PGA.
It was I was right, by the way. It was not Dewey.
Okay.
I have not memorized his number, but I can with a lot of Tolos. Like Dan B, I've got Tom, I've got them. When I see their number come up, I know who it is. This one, Cocky for a reason.
You may not know. Sorry, Cocky, for a reason that I mistook you for Dewey. So that'll never happen again. But Cocky for a reason doesn't know this. Cole, we can actually talk to engineering and have them put a name on the phone number so we can read their name when they call it instead of guessing every time.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Really would be.
Cocky, what's up?
That's AI. That's Big Brother stuff. But hey, I'm down with that. It's good.
AI. Are you not a fan of AI, by the way?
I'm kind of at a loss too. What did happen to Dewey? Well, we haven't heard him in a while.
Guess somebody, ticked him off. He got his I don't know. That's a good question. We'll have to see if he can defend himself. I really don't know. I mean, I think we heard from him maybe the week before last.
He hadn't called in a while, though.
Something might be happening, I mean, he could be locked up again. I don't know. Hopefully not.
Well, it's a travesty.
Maybe his mom caught him doing something he shouldn't have been doing and took away his phone privileges.
I thought Dewey was old, though. Like old.
I mean, his mom's not still around.
Surely not.
With modern science.
He's at least 30, right?
Oh, I think he's no. I think Dewey's. If I had to guess, I'd say late 50s.
I'm saying old enough to still be in the mom's basement, though, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Guess this never.
Your mom
aged.
doesn't have to still be with us to still be in mom's basement. He could have just never got the memo,
right? That's right. If it ain't went through probate, it's still open, right? So.
Anything else, Cocky?
I don't know. Are y'all talking PGA?
We did in the very first segment. We will again.
Yep, we'll bring it back up
again. Who are you following this weekend?
I'm a Scotty guy, but I'm a Cameron guy too. So and I'm not a Rory hater, but if you're a Scotty guy, you can't like Rory, right? I mean,
they're two very different kind of golfers. Scotty Scheffler, cold, calculated, never shows any emotion. Rory, he's all emotion.
Well, they are different. It's kind of like they're kind of like LeBron and MJ, because Scotty is number one and Rory is number two. Right?
God, you think that much of Scotty? No, I agree with you. By the way, I wish I could find. Can I play?
I'm talking about current rankings. Rankings, Scotty's one and Rory's two.
I'm glad you brought that up, though, Cocky, for a reason, and thanks for the phone call. I'm glad he brought up Scotty and Rory, because I had this piece of audio, Diesel, and I want to play it real quick. This is kind of fascinating when it comes to Rory and Scotty. I don't know if you've heard this or not yet. or if you've heard this audio yet, Diesel, or not, but Rory was asked about Scotty's mentality. You know how Scotty, you said it very cut and dry, kind of, he is what he is, doesn't show a lot of emotion, goes
boring
home.
Sometimes.
Kind of boring. Yep, goes home and probably doesn't think about golf much. This was some pretty cool audio. Rory talking about Scotty's mentality. For those that hadn't heard it, this is pretty good stuff here. Oh, let me pause that. Sorry about that. Try again.
He seems to just be in this mindset where whatever happens on the golf course happens, and, you know, it doesn't make him any more, any less of a man. And, you know, he goes home and he's happy with his family, and he shows up the next day and he plays golf again. I admire him so much for that, because I've experienced in this world where you can be pulled in so many different directions. You have all these other opportunities that you can go and chase. And I've quite a curious mind, so I do go and chase those. But then sometimes I do look at Scotty and be like, you know, maybe I wish I didn't have so much going on, because you know, it works for him.
You know, I think it's really cool to hear that audio. A guy like Rory, who's played this game for a long time at a high level and has had like a different path in life than Scotty's had, a different story, right? And I think it's kind of cool to sit back and hear that audio of Rory maybe just admitting, you know what? People kind of poke fun at Scotty for being this family man and wanting just to stay home and be a family man. Rory appreciates that. And I appreciate him being honest about that.
You know, there's the people who let their job become their entire personality and it becomes their entire life. That's not Scotty Scheffler.
No.
I mean, he is a great golfer. I mean, it's a very healthy place to be as a person, you know, and he seems like he's not the kind of guy I don't think that's going to quit on golf on a whim, but he also seems like the kind of guy that's not going to let it consume him and be his personality, his life all the way until he's, you know, 80 years old and he's out there, you know, clanging them off the trees in Augusta just to give the people a thrill. He's like, you know, it seems like when he's done, he's done.
No, you do sense that. And, you know, just personally speaking, I respect the heck out of it. I do. I think it's a breath of fresh air in sports. And look, because he's not rah-rah, people were like, oh, he needs to be more rah-rah. But, you know, you can look at it and truly think it is, or you can truly say it is a breath of fresh air. You're right, though. I mean, for him, he's talked about it openly before. You know, it's more than just a game to Scotty. There's more out there to Scotty. He's talked about his faith, and a lot of that resonates obviously with me, but he understands at the end of the day that it's not just a game and there's more to life than the game that he's playing. And I like hearing that perspective. And I also like hearing Rory on maybe the opposite side that hadn't went down that same path say, you know what, it's kind of cool to be at the age that I'm at now and say, man, it seems like Scotty's not got this thing figured out, because I think Scotty would admit to you that he doesn't have it all figured out. By the way, he has climbed up to 8th now. Look at this. He is now an 8.
There you go, 2 under.
So cool to hear.
So
Scotty 2 under now.
He's T8, but 1 back.
That's wild.
Interesting.
And that is a big log jam right there. I mean,
how are they going to separate this field? I mean, look at the size of this green. You can play baseball. On that green.
That doesn't even look like a green, does it?
Right. I wonder, you know, if there's a way to, you know, mess with the pin placement to make things tougher as things go along, but we'll see. Christy Mann texts in and says, Dewey said he was 68 the last time he called, but it took him about 30 seconds to come up with his birth year.
She's so right. She's so right. The Experience says, don't you dare leave me out of co-hosting. We would never do that. The Experience phone calls are always welcome. 844-326-3663. Going to dive into the golf leaderboard, the Braves, also Diesel, a new South Carolina High School League bill that was passed this week. Atolo already asked about that earlier in the show as well. We'll get to it next.
Fan Upstate.
Well, let's start with a text earlier in the show from a Tolo, and they asked about the South Carolina High School League bill that was passed yesterday. Asked my thoughts on that, Diesel. I have just pasted that onto the rundown, but a South Carolina high school bill passed yesterday. It's Bill 4163. It was a 112-0 vote, a bill that would change how the South Carolina High School League is structured and governed, all but became official on Wednesday. So, for those Tolos out there, because this stuff can be convoluted, right, Diesel, at times?
No, you don't say.
You can be.
Why keep it simple?
Here is how this passed. Again, 112-0, effective July 1, 2027. That is over a year from today. Over a year. It awaits the signature now from the governor. The governing structure is a 23-member executive committee. That is much more on the executive committee than we've had in the past.
23 people.
23 people.
God.
That is 8 more than the previous version. The representation on the executive committee will include 1 principal, 1 superintendent, 1 athletic director from each of 5 classifications. So you've got 1A all the way to 5A. You'll have a principal, a superintendent, AD from each of those.
So that's 15 right there.
Yep. You'll have an appointee by the superintendent of education. You'll have a middle school representative. That can either be a superintendent, principal, or an AD. And then you'll have a private school and charter school representative.
We're also going to need an old priest and a young priest.
Yes. And Diesel and Cole will also be. I think we should. I'd love to be on the committee, but
imagine Dewey on a committee.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Shoot.
Here's how that works. There are 3-year terms. No member can serve more than 2 consecutive terms. I'm a fan of terms. Jerome Singleton, the current commissioner, doesn't probably know what a term is because he's been there for a million years.
Since the Reagan administration, yeah.
Right? The executive committee chairman voted on by membership serves 2-year terms. So, again, you've got a lot of people on this new executive committee come 2027, but I like the fact, Diesel, that it is term limits. You're not getting people on there. Yeah. I just don't think it does any good to have somebody on a committee or in a position of power for that long. You know what I mean?
No, you get entrenched, you get swayed, and you start doing people favors, and then you owe people favors, and it's not good.
All right. Next, oversight and accountability. The league bill can be audited by the South Carolina Legislative Audit Council. It is subject to oversight in the same manner as state agencies, and the commissioner's contract cannot exceed 3 years. So they cannot give a 10-year contract anymore.
Okay.
So I'm a fan of that. I don't mind somebody being the commissioner for 4 to 6 years, but I do appreciate the fact that the contract years are small, right?
Yeah. It's that's a 3-year contract. That's it.
3-year contract.
That's tough because, the first year you're still learning the ropes.
3-year contract.
Year 2 and year 3, you're almost out the door.
Now, hopefully, I don't know. It doesn't say, it says contract, not term. Hopefully that contract could be renewed.
Yeah.
I don't have the specifics on that. Key rules remain in place with this new bill from the South Carolina High School League. Equal treatment for private charter schools and teams. No name, image, and likeness for high school athletics, which we're a fan of, right? Keep it out. A multiplier system for competitive balance. A one-time transfer for middle school and high school students, which I'm a fan of. Let's try to regulate how many times a kid can transfer, Diesel, from school to school to school to school to school to school. The league's appellate panel stays in place. So I'm a fan of a lot of this. Obviously, it's a big executive committee like we talked about. We'll see how that goes. But the multiplier system staying for competitive balance, I do have one issue. And you and I think, and tell me if I'm wrong, we've talked about the multiplier enough.
I don't know.
Okay.
No, I don't think we have.
All right. So here's a great time to bring that up. And we've talked about, I know Lou Bezjak and I have talked about this recently as well. The multiplier rule, Diesel, helps competitive balance when you have schools across different classifications. Let's say, for example, one student can count as 3 students. I believe that's the current multiplier. So one can count as 3. You say, well, what's the purpose of that? A lot of these schools when you talk about the school size, one school is going to be this size in the classification, one school is going to be this size. The multiplier system was designed to take the numbers and each student be counted as more than one person to try to help the competitive balance in athletics. So, like, let's say, for example, Wade Hampton High School. We know we've talked about Wade Hampton a lot, right? They've been down in athletics. The goal when this was put into place, Diesel, was for this multiplier to help schools like a Wade Hampton have more numbers or help other schools have more numbers, or let's say a charter school, whatever the case may be, so that they can have a better competitive balance on the field. It would all come down to the multiplier determines who they play in their classification, right? Because classifications are built on how many students go to the school, right? So you're in the, like, for example, Gaffney fell to 4A because of the number of students. Here's my issue, though, with a multiplier in the South Carolina High School League. Every student at Wade Hampton High School, let's just use Wade Hampton for an example here. Every student is now counted in the multiplier system. My opinion has always been the multiplier needs to only exist for student athletes. Because, let's say, Diesel, there's a kid sitting in an art class at Wade Hampton High School. Well, my whole point's always been, why is a kid in art class counted into the multiplier system that affects athletics?
Telling me a kid in art class can't run a dig route?
Maybe, maybe not. But I'm just saying it doesn't make sense to me why.
I get it.
You know what I mean?
Right. You would wish that they would focus and put a higher premium on the number of kids that are playing sports at that school.
Well, the multiplier affects sports, right? So you would want the 3-0 multiplier to me, and again, there might be a reason. I just don't understand why every student at a high school counts in the multiplier, not just student athletes. It doesn't affect those students. It doesn't have any effect on those students whatsoever. I just wish it was just for the student athletes. So here's the 3X rule. It is designed for students, Diesel, living outside of a school's designated attendance zone. I pulled up the official definition of it. That way I could explain it to you better, okay? So how the multiplier works. It's a 3X rule. Each student living outside of a school's designated attendance zone is counted as 3 students toward total enrollment for classification purposes, right?
Okay.
This inflated enrollment numbers can force schools, especially charter and private institutions, into higher classifications. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
And to 3A, 4A, or 5A.
Especially if those charter schools are tending to bring in from out of their area students that are coming in to be athletes.
And they all are.
And that's what they're doing.
Right. So it's designed, Diesel, to create a more level playing field between traditional public schools and specialized private schools.
That way, MVP Prep, you know, and not to pick on them, but they're the biggest one around here.
Yeah.
MVP can't just stay at, what are they, 2A classification? They can't just stay at 2A and run roughshod over everybody. It's, hey, if you're bringing in all these student athletes from outside of your area, then guess what? Now you're going to have to play a 4A schedule.
Sure. So, look, I understand why the multiplier was put in place. I do. So I think when you talk about competitive balance, I'm a fan of it. We should all be a fan of competitive balance. I guess my point is I don't like the fact that every student in the high school counts into the multiplier. I wish it was just the student athletes, but maybe that's something that will never happen. So that's pretty much it. I think it's a lot of good. I like the one-time transfer rule. I'm not a fan of transferring all over the place, transfer to transfer to transfer. So we'll see about that. Also, the NIL, we talked about that a couple of weeks ago as well, and that kind of got shot down. I don't want NIL anywhere near South Carolina high school athletics, so I'm good with that. So pretty much we'll see how the big executive committee unfolds. It's a lot of people, 23 people on it, but we'll see. We'll see what it does. Tolo Kevin gets in, says the gift card I got to stuff to make nachos with. What is he?
Kevin picked up the $25 Ingles gift card last Wednesday.
I
think I said something yesterday on the show, or maybe it was Tuesday. I said, hey, Kevin, what did you use the gift card for? So he's finally, I think Kevin's like 2 days behind on the show, but that's okay. He is listening, and that's what matters. So, hey, Kevin, on Saturday, when you hear this, we appreciate you listening to the show on your own time.
You were in Spartanburg, right?
Pine Street.
Street, east side of Spartanburg last week.
I don't spend a lot of time over on the east side of Spartanburg. Well, tell me about the east side of Spartanburg.
Viking territory over there.
Yeah, okay. I think I've been to one Spartanburg Viking game. This was when I was doing some stuff for 93.3 The Planet. We were teaming up with the local, I think it's the Asheville WLOS TV station, and we were there at some games. So I know I've been to a Spartanburg Viking game. I remember one time I was there, and we got hit with like a massive lightning storm just before the game started, so they ended up calling the game.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a good location, though. Good. A nice Ingles over there, though.
It is.
It's
a really nice side of town.
Couldn't be there. And then next week, when you're gone, I will be at the Ingles. Oh, look at us going to Chesney, the big city of Chesney, South Carolina, next Wednesday. Sure enough. How about that?
I hear when you pull up to the gates in Chesney, you got to sing Kenny Chesney, or they don't let you in.
Maybe so. That might be true. But that's next Wednesday, the 20th. Chesney Highway. That's 2375 Chesney Highway.
I couldn't tell you a single Kenny Chesney song.
Oh,
I just know that he's married to Nicole Kidman. That's the only thing I know about him.
You couldn't think of one song, you don't think?
The one about dogs, trucks.
No.
He sings a lot of love songs, right?
He's good, man.
A lot of love songs.
Yeah, he's a lot of beach stuff. Kenny's the beach guy.
That's right. My wife always listens to that Margaritaville station. And so I know he must have been good buddies with
Jimmy Buffett.
Jimmy Buffett.
He's kind of the toes in the sand kind of country singer.
Gotcha. Right.
You have it on when you're on the beach in the summertime.
Good stuff. When we come back, Cole, let's take a look around Major League Baseball. A big blowout loss for a team in the Braves division. We'll cover it all next.
on the Fan Upstate.
Well, I'm going to feel real smart, Cole, if the Atlanta Braves can, over the next 2 months, 2 months exactly, as a matter of fact, pick up 6 more games on the division, because the Atlanta Braves now have a 9.5 game lead over the Washington Nationals. I said that they would break the record of 15.5 games by the All-Star break. That's going to be tough to pick up 6 games in 2 months, but I think the Braves can do it. The Nationals today got absolutely blasted. Cole, 15-1 loss for the Nationals against the Cincinnati Reds. The Marlins lost today also to the Twins, 9-1. The Mets finally got a win. Oh, my God.
They swept.
Look out over the Tigers?
They swept.
Wow. The Tigers, well, they have been really good. They're not good so much this year, but the Tigers have been pretty good over the last couple of years. But the Braves tonight, Cole, they have a chance to sweep the Cubbies, Dan B's Cubbies. Sorry, Dan. Chris Sale on the mound with his stellar 2.2 ERA going up against let's see, Ben Brown from the Chicago Cubs.
You know what? One thing I do love about the MLB, that like this time of year, and it always fluctuates and always changes. But, you know, in football and in most other sports, you know, basketball, you have a couple of games during the week, but baseball is like every day and things change so much. From last night to what you just said, the entire NL East looks different. Last night, before the game started, the Phillies were in second.
Right.
And now the Nationals are in second. As of this morning, the Braves were 9 games up. Now they're 9.5 games up. I mean, it is just like all the time, something updating, something happening. And if you win tonight, obviously you can keep adding to that. They're a good baseball team right now. I don't know what happens between now and the All-Star break. July 11th, I believe, is the All-Star break, but we'll see.
July 14th is
Gotcha.
July 11th may be the beginning of the break. July 14th is the date of the All-Star game. Now, the Phillies do play tonight. They play the absolutely putrid Boston Red Sox, and they'll probably win that game. So, the Phillies may pull even with the Nationals again.
I don't see.
Nationals have already played today. Phillies have not.
I'm confused. I don't understand how these Red Sox are this bad. I don't understand it, because like, you go look, they've got talent, and the best players on the Red Sox, they're not playing. Like, well, they're playing or attempting to, but
Wilson Contreras is
weird.
A good ball player.
It's weird. I don't know. We'll
Abreu,
see.
yeah.
Let's go to the phone lines. TA wants to weigh in. What's up, TA?
Well, I wanted to brag on my Braves and taking 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers.
Let's go.
Getting to 30 wins quicker than anybody in the major leagues on a road trip, a long West Coast road trip, and now they're making their way back toward the Midwest, and then they'll have a homestand. And if that homestand goes like halfway,
Well, they're
back
home. They're home with
homestand-
they're home with the Cubs right now.
Okay, so they're all the way back home.
Yeah,
okay,
they're back.
I didn't realize that. Okay, so we run off.
Was Seattle, then the Dodgers, and then back home, I think is what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Me and Big D talked about that. I think you were on your mission trip, which, by the way, that was a awesome thing you did by going overseas. And I think you said you were building houses for unfortunate or disadvantaged people that don't have people that can do things like.
Yeah, appreciate that.
You can and have the supplies. No problem. But you're talking about Boston also. Love to the Braves. I don't see Walt Weiss changing. He's a great clubhouse guy. He's got a reputation for being that kind of guy, and he's showing it now. He's just letting those guys come together, and he'll stick a few words or a nice conversation in when needed. Otherwise, baseball players know exactly what to do. But a clubhouse can ruin a baseball team. And you're talking about Boston. I think Boston, if you were to go up there and be with them every day, you would say, wow, this clubhouse ain't what I thought it might be. Like, the music ain't playing. They're not playing ping pong. They're not playing video games like they do in today's world when things are really
camaraderie,
so to speak. Camaraderie is a very good word to use. I'm telling you, there's something wrong in that clubhouse, whether it's leaking down from the manager, whether he said something to a reporter that may have taken a player wrong. Players are, I don't care what nobody says, players are on one side, the manager's on the other, and it's up to the manager, a very good manager, to bring them together, because the players are always going to be on the player side. I don't care what you say unless, very special circumstance.
TA, I think the problem is the manager tried to switch him to Starbucks, and we all know that that Boston is Dunkin' territory.
That's right. I'll take that. But I just wanted to give love
yes.
to Cole, and I wanted to my Braves and Chris Sale. I'll say it forever. The greatest signing, right when everyone had written him off as the end of his career. It's just throwing it from the left side, unbelievably as good as anybody in the league.
You're right.
Y'all
TA,
one,
you're the man. Appreciate the phone call. And he's right there. Like Chris Sale, when he was signed, it was like, oh my gosh, we got an old guy. And TA's point, what a signing that was.
Yeah.
And it couldn't have worked out better.
Maybe it's just I don't know much about the Cubs rotation, but on ESPN.com, Ben Brown is listed as a relief pitcher. So they're having to task a reliever to come in and start.
Yeah, and they're struggling offensively for whatever reason. The last week, they got shut out twice last weekend and almost shut out Tuesday with the Braves. So they're struggling offensively. Brew Fighter on YouTube says, Red Sox have issues in the clubhouse. They will get swept by the Bravos this weekend. Hopefully, you're right. Here you go. Here's Boston Scott on the Facebook stream. He's coming at you there, Diesel.
Boston Scott says, don't you dare mention switching to Starbucks. You know what my problem with Dunkin' Donuts is, Cole? They're idiots. They don't understand coffee. They don't know what coffee is. I go into I used to travel through Gastonia and stop at the Dunkin' Donuts in Gastonia. And I would ask them, Cole, for like a caramel latte or something like that. And they say, do you want us to put sugar in that? No, there's already sugar in the caramel. It's already in there. You're trying to kill me. You're trying to give me diabetes with so much sugar. You don't have to because you can't taste the coffee anymore at that point. All you're tasting is caramel and sugar.
Well, see, here's where I am on that. I'm so ignorant on how coffee is made, like these lattes are made. I wouldn't know. I would say my response would be, well, I don't know. You're supposed to tell me what a latte has in it. I mean, however, a normal latte, like if I go to Starbucks and order a white chocolate mocha, which I do sometimes,
right?
They don't ask, well, what do you want? I don't know what's in it. You make it, I drink it.
It's the same coffee beans in all of them. It's espresso. That's what most of them use is espresso beans. It's a variety of beans.
Yeah.
And then to make it a latte,
all the other stuff.
Make it a latte, you add in steamed milk. And then they add in a couple of pumps, depending on how much you ask for, of flavoring. And the mocha is a flavoring. It's just chocolate syrup, right? You're messing up if you haven't gotten the black and white mocha. It's a little dark chocolate.
I don't do the
chocolate.
black and white color stuff.
Good.
No, I'm not.
It's so good. Ebony and ivory, man, coming together in harmony. But you can add caramel flavoring. You can add vanilla flavoring, hazelnut flavoring, what all they have. But you don't need to add more sugar to something that's already sweetened.
It's just hard to beat a white chocolate mocha. Just being honest with you. It's really hard.
It's really good.
It's good.
Try it.
I'll try it. Scott says, Dunkin's almost as bad as the Red Sox. We've just got to embrace this thing. But you know what they do have, though? Hey, you know what they have the Starbucks don't?
Matt Damon?
No.
Ben Affleck?
The donut holes. Those are good.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, come on. I mean, don't act like those are, they've got they're not maybe the specialty that Starbucks is, but
Starbucks has got a person named Shiloh that you can't tell if it's a boy or a girl. So they got that going for them.
Yeah.
It's my local Starbucks. I see them every day.
No comment. No comment from me. I'm not going there. Hour number 4 next.